baby.
Yay, yay. We are back tonight. I don't know how long this one's going to go. It is me, Rajay, going solo tonight. So Todd is actually out, and Mal, I believe, is still dealing with being sick. So I've not heard from her yet. So I figured I'd come up here for a little bit, drink a couple beers, see what's going on in your guys' world, chat about what you may want to chat about. So hit me up with the Q&A. If you have any questions out there, definitely hit me up in the comments to let me know. But yeah, see how long we go tonight. It is the first happy hour of 2025. So congrats to us getting down to a new year and see what we have coming forward down the pike, so to speak. I don't know if you guys are all excited about the new year or not, or you're like, it's okay. We turned the page, so to speak, and here we are type thing. But I think beginning of the year, more people are usually excited about it than not. And people are looking to put their best foot forward, which reminded me one of the things I was thinking of earlier as we talk about things with the new year is New Year resolutions. Do you actually do them? Do you actually have any? Are you into the New Year's resolutions? Let me know by dropping a comment as well. I myself don't really do the New Year's resolutions. I don't think I've really ever fully gotten into it. It's kind of like just do what you're going to do, make a plan and go about doing it. But I don't consider it to be like a New Year's resolution. But I guess you have goals that you may want to have at the end of the year. And so if you don't write it down and have a goal, they say it becomes just a dream. So you definitely want to have something out there that you're looking to attain. I think one of the things I would always say is to make this year better than the last. And if you keep doing that going forward, you're bound to have a good lifestyle, in my opinion. It'll actually pay off in the end, so to speak. But for the first beer I was going to crack open tonight, I actually have one that I picked up for one of our local breweries. Well, it was local. Now it's actually closing, and you may have seen the video this weekend that I put up. But Taps Brewing Company, and it is their Nellie's Orange Creamsicle Ale. So I just picked this up this past weekend. And if you didn't see the video, essentially last Friday, I found out that they were doing a sale. So they were doing $3 6 packs and a case for $10. Didn't know what it was all about until I actually got down there. And I got down there and found out they were closing on Sunday. So they had to get rid of all the stock. And these ones they actually got in were ones that just came in recently. So figure why not go ahead and get 4 6 packs. And for $10, I'm winning at that point. So I'm going to crack this one open. I always like the feel of a nice orange creamsicle ale. I did say I got glasses down there as well. They had 2 for $5 that you can get for glassware. I ended up getting 4 like this, but I ended up getting 4 of these for like $10. So that's not a bad deal at all for some nice glassware to have. So we got the hashtag proper glassware. Go ahead and make a pour here and see what this baby tastes like. Always sounds nice pouring that beer out, doesn't it? So I've had other things from the Nellie's line previously before actually moving to Baltimore and now coming back to Cincinnati, but I had never had their orange creamsicle. Wow. Actually smells like an orange creamsicle. They're right on the nose for the aroma. Funny thing is you get a beer like this and you're like, should have got more, because if it tastes like it smells, this is what I mean. This is the orange creamsicle popsicle that you would get off the old, was it Good Humor, the Good Humor ice cream truck, not Mr. Softy. Although, did Mr. Softy have orange creamsicles? I never got that with Mr. Softy. I always got like the cookie ice cream sandwich type thing, or just like the cone with the, we call them in the Northeast the Jimmy's. Other parts of the country call it sprinkles. But I can always remember the creamsicle one from the Good Humor one. And that smells pretty much dead on. It's definitely got a nice orange creamsicle flavor in place as well. Got a good amount of carbonation that's kicking in. There's a little bit of that on the back end. Definitely a lighter beer. Really a lot of tingling there on the tongue from the carbonation. But you do get the creamsicle effect of it. Got a little bit of an astringency, a little bit of a puckering type feel. But this one so far is not hard to actually put down. ABV on this one is actually only 4.8 as well. So not a huge one. So you can have a good amount of these and still feel pretty good. But I'll have a full review upcoming on this beer here as well. But yeah, not too shabby. But yeah, New Year's. How are you guys doing with the whole New Year? January 2nd now. Let me know. Put some comments in there if you are doing some New Year resolutions. Kind of curious. Thank you for all you that are starting to come in. I see. Got a little bit of a later start tonight, so running around with some last second planning. But yeah, I'm just not a big New Year's resolution guy myself. One other thing to mention here before I get into some of the other things, channel update. So if you didn't see it, next Tuesday on the 7th, I will be bringing in Joel Geyer to discuss his book, Flights Across America. So he's traveled across the country, visiting various breweries, enjoying various beers, and is going to share some of the experiences. So that'll be Tuesday the 7th at 8:15 Eastern. So if you happen to be around next Tuesday night, make sure to tune in for that. Always good to hear what other people are drinking from around the country. I always feel like it's always so quiet when I'm just here and I don't have Todd or Mal or Dave or anybody else up here right now. So I need to add just a little bit of a flow to the background. Go over there, do that, do that, do that, do that, do that. There we go. Bring in a little bit of the restaurant music, so to speak. What else we got going on? So it's dry January. Are you partaking in it for 2025? As you can see, I've already broke it. If I was, it's the second I'm already drinking alcohol. But is that something you're actually looking to do this year? Or maybe just moderate a little bit on some of the alcohol? I feel like if you moderate efficiently and effectively, there should never be a need to take a whole month off. That's my opinion. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but I will not be doing the full dry January, but I will be doing some more NA beers that you'll be seeing coming up on the channel. In fact, I think I have the next one queued up. Will be the Heineken 0.0, which I will say that one was pretty surprising. That one ended up being better than I thought it was going to be as far as just the beer in itself, because Heineken itself, I used to like it when I was younger. Now that I'm older, get that skunkiness in play. But I feel like the zero might even be better than the actual alcohol version. So I'll have that upcoming. And then if you saw the unboxing, I'll have one coming out from Rationale for their cold style that they sent to me. So they sent me a 6-pack of that to try. And then I'm going to have some more stuff that I'm going to pick up for Go Brewing for some different things. I got to shoot their Black Butte in a porter. So I'll be sharing that as well, which Black Butte in itself is a great beer. So have the NA version of something there. And then I saw that the Shoes also has their Fresh Squeeze IPA as the NA version. So I may have to grab that to see how that actually tastes too. But that and a few others as I come across them. I got no problem trying some of the NA beers, and I found some that I actually do like. You know, as I put up some of the stuff I've done, probably the most I've done has been with Go Brewing, and they have been pretty solid overall, in my opinion. That's why I do recommend and share details about them for those that want to try, because of the ones I've actually had, they're definitely one of the leading ones out there. And I've done Athletic as well. In fact, I have a thing there for athletic. Well, on the in my link tree down in the description, you can go to the sites and see all the different things I have. I actually have some NA spirits out there as well, NA wines, which is kind of crazy. But um, as far as anyone that I've been more entrenched with, it's probably been Go, just because I enjoy the variety of stuff they're actually doing, and they do pair up very well versus the actual beers themselves. I need to do maybe like a blind thing with the actual style of a beer and actual NA style of a beer. That'd be kind of a cool video to maybe come up with here. Maybe grab some stuff to do that. Have to get them done blindly. But yeah, so dry January is upon us, and interesting to see how that actually goes. A lot of people are definitely ratcheting it up more and more each year, it seems. So, and the NA market is blowing up. Other stuff happening right now, breweries, closings, sign of the times, or just part of the business cycle. So I've seen different reports being written, different people providing their opinion on the whole scenario. I feel like it's interesting. I feel like it's more just a part of the business cycle itself, because we always knew there was going to have to be a time to level off in the craft beer industry, as far as there was just so much that was out there, and there were some that weren't as great as some of the others, right? So you had the contenders and you had the pretenders, and so at some point there was going to be some type of leveling taking place. I don't see it as being gloom and doom like I've seen other people actually kind of mention out there. It's any business cycle any business you're in, there's a business cycle that is going to run this way. I mean, we've seen it in every type of industry. And right now, I just think it's craft beer getting their foot in on stuff, and things are adjusting. And you do have some different attitudes and shifts out there with some of the younger folks maybe not drinking as much, or maybe some of the NA type stuff, or maybe some of the non alcohol things that people want to do. But I think it's overall still pretty good. I know this year was the first year where they had like a number of breweries lost more than gain. I think it was like 399 that were lost and gained like 330 something. So you get like a 60 minus 60 in there, whatever you want to say. But at the same point, as much as breweries close for the most part, another brewery usually pops in. And I just think it's a settling down on stuff. Plus, you also have some shifts maybe in some of the demographics around the country, where some states are seeing people maybe shift out more than others. And if you were a brewery in that area, you might be shutting down as well if you don't get enough business. So maybe I'm just being optimistic, but I think we still have some room to go with some of the breweries out there. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are by dropping a comment if you're thinking differently or if you think the same. I just think this is just something we have to go through over a period of time. And then also with the beer industry, what kind of things would you like to see in 2025 that you haven't seen? What kind of things would you like to be able to partake in from some of the breweries? Maybe there's certain beer styles you would like to see more breweries actually bring back that you're not seeing out there. Maybe there's different rules you want to see out there. One of the hottest topics I've seen lately has been the children in brewery type phenomenon, right? So there's some breweries where it's very family friendly. They're serving food and they're doing all that kind of stuff. I can understand where you might have the family atmosphere, but there's some breweries where they, after a certain point, children just aren't allowed. There was one that was out of the Northeast. I reported in one of the news stories earlier last year, um, where after 6 p.m., no children were allowed in the brewery. And so it's a mixed bag out there, but it seems to be a hot topic. And like some of the comments that came in that I recall, one is, so if you can't do it in the bar, why can't you do it in the brewery? Yeah, yeah, that's a fair point there too. So it's interesting, but yeah, but things you'd like to see from the beer industry in 2025 that you're maybe not seeing now, or you would like to see more of. I'm gonna say it again. I would like to see more smoked beers. That's one of my things. Anybody else want to start making some more Rouse beers? Please do. I'm on board for that. I'm here for all the smoke. All the smoke. Get my can up there for you. Oh, let's see here. Dave, what's happening, my friend? Cheers, brother. Great to see you. Dave from Beer in Front. If y'all haven't checked out Dave, make sure to check out Dave as well. Dave, if you want to come up, just let me know. Um, Dave's got his great stuff going on there out of Illinois. It's funny. I just sent Dave a link to a piece I saw earlier before coming on, and it's on my Facebook page if you want to see the piece. But it's basically about the Illinois Guild and beer. But then for the photo shoot, they use West Six, which is actually in Lexington, Kentucky. Illinois, is there a beer problem going on? Because you have a lot of good beer there. I don't know why you have a Kentucky brewery on your cover shoot for the story. Hmm. All right, I'll shoot you something here in a second. That's kind of interesting. I don't know if the person that ran the story didn't know exactly what they were doing, or maybe didn't know much about beer. But when I saw that there, I pretty much had a pretty good laugh. Um, let's see here. You know, I just sent it over to you, Dave, on the gram, as the kids call it. Let me see here. Let me check out something real quick. Can't participate in chat. Might have comments off. Oh, Dan, let me know. Let me go back and check that. That would be not good. Maybe people are commenting. I'm just not seeing it. Give me 1 second, folks. Let me check the settings on this here. Because Dave was able to comment there. YouTube has kind of convoluted things with all the different stuff they have on there. Oh, I apologize. I do see where the comments were marked for approved users for some reason. Now anyone can actually chat. So if you are trying to chat, I was getting nervous. I think I might want to say anything. Now you can chat there freely. Go ahead and type away. Oh, that's hilarious. And that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. So God, so much stuff that goes on with YouTube. Let me see here. Give me 1 second here. Mhm. All right, get back over. There's Dave. Dave's on board. Cheers, my man.
Hey, Happy New Year, Rod.
Happy New Year to you, and happy Thursday as well, because obviously
Yeah.
I'm live, so it is Thursday.
Yeah.
I do too many live streams, I start getting confused myself. So,
Do you have like piano music playing in the background?
yeah, I got my little restaurant music and stuff when I was playing.
Oh, okay.
There,
I'm
little,
like, wait, do I have like
bringing a
another
little-
window open, another tab open? I'm like, wait.
When I get up here on some of the solo stuff, it's just like me and my voice sometimes. I'm like, you know what? I gotta
Yeah.
bring a little ambiance to the table or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, what's going on here?
The viewers start looking for a waiter in their
Yeah.
house. They're like, yeah, sir, there's a server around here. I'm trying to get another order in. But hopefully you're off to a good start for the new year.
Yeah. Finishing up my vacation. I got one more day tomorrow and then back to the grind. But yeah, it's been nice to be off.
Nice. And thank you, Dan, for letting me know on the comments. Yeah, they put so much stuff on YouTube. I had to mark only the moderators could actually speak. I'm like, I'm not getting no comments. Usually I'm getting comments by now. And Dan was like, we can't comment.
Yeah, because when I first logged on, it went to like my normal name. So I gave you a like there, and then I'm like, I said, I'm not, it's not my Beer in Front profile. Let me change it. But then it let me comment because I was a moderator.
Oh, YouTube, you're getting ahead of yourself. You're doing too much, as the kids say. You're doing too much. So, so I'm just kind of going through kind of a laid back Q&A. Todd's out tonight, and now still, I think, under the weather a little bit. And so it's kind of like what people want to talk about. And I'm glad to see you can swing by, and hopefully your back's doing better.
Yeah, it's feeling a little bit better.
Yeah, I know. Last week you had to jump off an elevator because it was starting to kick up a little.
Yeah, it's hard. Like just sitting down for a couple hours isn't really good. So I got to stand up and move around a bit.
Yeah, because for work you stand a lot during the day, right? Like,
yeah, they have like almost like a bar stool type chair.
Yeah.
For us, like at the position I do, so I kind of just alternate, just depending on how it feels.
Yeah, get it stretched out and everything.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. You should be in there. You should be in there one time doing stretching exercise. And all the passengers would be like, "What the hell is he doing?"
Yeah. I've seen people that they flat out pull out a yoga mat right in the lounge area, and I'm like, "What?" But all right, you do you. You do whatever you need to do, man.
Not going anywhere for a while, I guess. But leave the shoes on. Leave the shoes on.
There's people like jumping rope in the middle of the concourse. I'm like, you are going to hit somebody with that thing.
Have you ever seen any jugglers or anything?
I'm sure I have. Yeah, I think I have. And you're just kind of blasé about it. It's just like, dude, what are you doing?
Well, one of the things I was asking here, as far as what you would like to see from the beer industry in 2025, anything you're thinking you'd like to see out there in the beer industry that you maybe haven't seen, or maybe something you would like to get back,
Yeah. I don't know. I just think everything's so condensed now and so local that I think all these breweries are just, focusing on being the best in their neighborhood instead of best in the country or, the region. So, I mean, you'd like to see more breweries hit it big and, be able to sell in all 50 states. But I just don't know if we're going to see that like this year or anytime in the near future.
Yeah. Well, I think with the craft side of it, it's kind of gotten more to a taper back to control what you can control and don't try to go too fast. Although we did see Yingling expand into your state.
Yeah. It's kegs for now. And then I think I saw something where it'll be in cans or bottles coming up like in the spring.
Yeah. So, and they're still not in every state. I think they're maybe in the 30s or something now. Mm-hmm. So they still got a way to go, but oldest brewery in the country, and they're not everywhere.
Yeah.
I just wish they brought more of their non-mass market stuff out to other markets, like the Lord Chesterfields and stuff like that and everything. Because I wouldn't mind trying some of those things.
Yeah.
You get Genesee where you're at?
Yes, but it's hard to find. So like the times I have seen it, when I did that awards thing a couple years ago, I picked it up, but like it's one of those, you don't know how dusty those cans are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one thing being back here in Cincinnati. I'll see more of the Genesee. I saw some of it when I was in Baltimore, just being down 95 basically. But I know here I also see some stuff, especially like at Jungle Gyms, where it's like, it's kind of crazy because you get like a 12-pack of their stuff for like $9 or something. And you're like, this is going to probably be some dog beers like that. And then you get it. It's like, they're always pretty solid. So, yeah. And they're kind of like a smaller Yingling to me because they kind of got like that feel of being like almost like a mass produced, but then they have so much of a range of different stuff they're putting out.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if you saw, and I was trying to kick around ideas like what to do in 2025. So one of them was to do like a blind test of all like the macros and the big hitters. So today I stopped at my grocery store and I grabbed like the 24-ounce can. So I'm like, I ain't going to buy a case of this shit. So I got like one Budweiser, Miller High Life, Coors, did a PBR, and I had Schlitz because I have, I always have Schlitz on hand. So I want to sit, maybe over the course of a couple of weeks, just have Ruby pour one off to the side so I don't know which one I'm drinking, rate it, and then at the end do like, which is the best macro. But I was thinking about grabbing a garage beer that I think Broxton or Braxton is still making.
Yeah.
That Montucky Cold Snacks, because they're a big player now. And then maybe like a local craft lager, because a lot of breweries are coming out with like, easy drinking craft lagers, and they're all pretty good. So I want to do like a local one to compare it with all the big macros that are out there.
Yeah, no, that's a fun thing. I saw your post. You were looking at it, the beer set up, so I think that's a good idea there. And, I was actually saying earlier to kind of like maybe doing like some of the NA versus some of the alcohol beers and stuff too, like blind. So
yeah, because I picked up a case from Go, and they were all good. They had like a regular lager that is just solid. If you don't want to drink that night. I think when I'm done drinking the one I have here, I have one more Go in the fridge, so I'll pop that open. And then I'm doing I think I was talking to you on the side about like doing this ad company. So this one ad company that I'm doing ads for on my podcast is a non-alcoholic spirit company. And I ordered like an aperitif from them. I did a gin review. The gin was pretty good. I did like a gin and tonic because I'm like, all right, I'll try the gin. Somebody said the bourbon wasn't that good, but to each their own. Right. But I want to do like an aperitif and maybe do like a mocktail, like the spaghetti with like the aperitif and the lager from Go.
Oh, there you go. That'll work out. Yeah. Well, being a fellow Go ambassador, make a mocktail and turn it in and get like rewarded for it. So I haven't done that challenge yet though. So which is kind of weird since I was a bartender in the 90s and I haven't done that one. I just haven't gotten around to kind of just put my mind to it, I guess. But I just did one for the recent unboxing that I did, and then also one where I actually found their beer at one of our stores that I shared, and I think it was another one I did too. But it's fun. It's kind of fun being that with them and stuff. So
and like this ritual, it's called Ritual Zero Proof, and there's a couple others that I'm going to do that it's kind of like the Go where you could give a code out to people watching, they'll get a discount, and then you'll get like 8-10% back commission on yourself. So
nice. Right. There you go.
Yeah, something to give a try to.
Yeah, definitely. And then we have Dan in the house from FLX Beer Reviews. And if you don't know Dan, make sure to check out Dan. Known Dan for a number of years here. He's like the Beer Patrol's older brother. Twin, but not twin now. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Great to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah, you too.
What did you pour there? You poured like a hearty beer, I could tell.
Oh, it's called Null and Void. It's basically a black IPA.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
For black IPA, it's got some decent hops in it. It's hopped with a Mosaic, Crush, Cryo Equinox, and then Raquel. So
okay.
Yeah, usually like the black IPAs seem to stick with the old school West Coast hop. So it's cool to see something with experimenting a little bit.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is definitely like, you get that hearty, robust kind of, chocolate, everything. But then you get this weird, like, tropical thing to it. I don't know. It's kind of a mind bender.
Yeah.
Cheers, Joey. Joey said, wow, there are some hitters on this stream. This is like going to see Sharon Winger is open.
So earlier I tried commenting, and it's like, I was like, I don't know what's going on right now. And I was like, oh my God, Rob's going to sit here the whole time. He's not going to, no one's wants to talk.
Well, it's funny because I saw on the screen there were people watching, and usually there's people commenting, but nobody's commenting. So I'm sitting there talking. I'm trying to throw stuff out there, and then you said that. You sent me that message, and I went in and I looked, and it was like, oh, it was marked for only like approved moderator. Like, I have no idea how that was marked there. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I was ready to send you a text like, man, you need a hug or something? You're by yourself.
Dave, I went and found you on Instagram because Rod was answering my messages on Instagram. Okay. I went and found you and I sent you messages like, hey, if you get on there, let Rod know his comments.
That just builds up the demand, builds it up.
Oh, there you are. Yeah.
Kettle in the house.
2025, he's sabotaging his own stream.
It's a new year. Things gonna get crazy. Cheers, Kettle. Great to see you, my friend. Happy New Year. Checked out Kettle. Check him out as well. He's always putting some pretty good beers up with some grilling stuff he's doing. So, which I'm figuring now, Kettle, it's got to be getting cold where you're at. You can't be still grilling out yet, right? Like, once that snow hits, he does have a stove. He told me he does have the stove, but he likes to grill most of the time.
Hey, Rod, is there any way with the headphones on, like the piano's like super loud?
Is it loud when you guys sing, or
Yeah. Maybe because I have the can earphones in, it's just like it's really loud compared to like the vocals.
Yeah, because it was down on low. The vocals are definitely louder. That's for sure. Let me see here. Actually,
Super KC, man.
Yeah, Soup's in the house. It's my buddy gaming, taking a break from some zone tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. StreamYard moved all our stuff around too. So I can fade that out there because, like I said, I put it on there when it's like usually just me because my voice is just like, I don't want to be the only one going the whole time like that. So, yeah.
I just checked out the score. Notre Dame beat Georgia, huh?
Yeah, they beat them a little bit ago. Yeah.
All 4 teams that had a bye out.
Interesting.
Number 1 through 4, all out.
Well, Georgia lost their starting quarterback, and then of course that brought up the people from last year talking about Florida State. When they had no starting quarterback, they couldn't go to the playoffs. But Georgia gets to go and bring the whole SEC bias thing again. So I don't know.
It's okay. We kept Bama out there. We kept Bama out.
9 through 12. They were like, we didn't really need those other teams that looking for the playoffs because none of them really did anything. Clemson got probably the closest real late, but outside of that, it was like, and now you're seeing these other ones, the teams that didn't play. So you don't really know. It's college, right? And the college thing is changed, which reminds me. So watching these college football games, maybe it's changed from when I was playing, like back in high school and stuff like that. But our mouthpiece is just optional nowadays. Like I see so many players that don't put them in. They're just running around with them hanging off their helmet. And I'm like, you get stung one good time, you're going to wish you had that thing in there. So.
Watching Caleb Williams here, every time it's hanging out of his mouth as he comes up, and I'm like, "You've been sacked more than anyone, son. You need to put that mouthpiece in." And, and he's up at the line, and it's never in his mouth; it's just hanging there.
Yeah.
The most infamous text in Hard Knocks history was Caleb Williams to the punter. Listen, I'm here. You won't have to punt that much.
Hey, what's up, Disco? Hey. Happy New Year, my friend. You're up late tonight. Appreciate you swinging in. Friend Disco over across the pond. It's snowing now, but I just fired up the kettle, so you're still up there grilling. All right. He loves to grill, like I said. We're supposed to possibly be getting some weather by this weekend or something they were saying through our area, so we'll see. Really where Todd's at, Todd's supposed to get hammered, like with a bunch of snow and possibly ice. I don't know if he knows that or not yet, but what's up, Sammy? Cheers, my friend.
Hey.
Sammy had the first New Year's celebration I saw on CNN when it went over. Like, we're from Australia tonight, and then they were showing it like at I don't know, it was like 9 o'clock our time or something, like in the morning when you woke up. It's like, wow. And Dan said cheers to everyone there too. So yeah, so I was telling Dave earlier, Dan, anything you would like to see from the beer industry in 2025, and for the people in the chat too, but something you may have seen that you like to bring back, or maybe something new.
So, I mean, to be honest, like it seems like a bunch of breweries, and when I say this, I'm okay with it. Like I'm cool with it. A lot of breweries are leaning more towards into the low ABV game. Even like, the big IPAs, you'll notice like a lot of the breweries, they're not doing a lot of the double IPAs. A lot they'll put out the 6.5%, which is really cool. I'm all about hashtag team low ABV pale ales and stuff. Good, nice crushers. You can drink them. But we had a new brewery do a pop-up here. And they decided their first 2 offerings, they put them in 12-ounce cans, 12-ounce 6-pack cans. And I was sitting there drinking, and it's like a 4% cream ale and then like a 5% extra pale ale or whatever. And I was like, this is awesome. Like, because, like you're having a beer And sometimes you drink that big 16-ounce double IPA, and you're like, oh, that's it. But you still want to drink more, but you're just like, nah, I can't. I like the lower, like 12-ounce formats and stuff like that. Like if we're gonna be doing low ABVs, give me 12-ounce cans. Also, I mean, for big stouts, barrel-aged stouts, give me the small 16-ounce or 12-ounce. Like I don't need the big 750 mils and stuff.
Yeah.
You lost me on that one there, but okay.
Yeah.
Listen, I have much like Kyle over at No Hip. I have a cellar full of these giant 20% brewery beers, and I'm just like, damn it, when am I ever going to be able to drink that if I don't have somebody over? You know what I mean?
I mean, I just did the Corson Dunk for Christmas. That was a 25.4 ounce at 1.9.4 ounce bottle. That was 10% ABV, but
remember last year when Bourbon County for the 30th anniversary, or maybe it was 2 years ago, they released the 4-packs of the 12-ounce bottles.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah,
that was so nice. That was nice. Yeah. That was a nice treat. So yeah, that's my wish.
Yeah,
like
I mean, you see some of those BAs in the stovepipe, like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
Me, I'm like, I see your challenge and I accept your challenge.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, dude, I'm still down in all this big ABV stuff, but for the low ABV stuff, let's package it differently. Give me some more options to drink it,
Yeah. Well, it's like I saw when they put Victory was starting to put the golden monkeys into the stovepipe. It was like, oh, you're trying to get people lit tonight. These monkeys will sneak up on you there for sure. Let's see. Blake in the house. Cheers, Blake. Happy New Year's, my friend. Going to be great. Yeah. Nothing else. John Cena's retiring. Good times. Well, will you see him retire, though?
Yeah.
He tells you you're retiring, but do you really know? Because you can't see him. Yeah. So
you know what? That's funny because he came on WWE TV, I don't know, 4 months ago and said, oh, I'm going on the farewell tour. I haven't seen him since. Maybe he's been wrestling the whole time.
Maybe. He's just right there. He's just right there, right in the front row. Yeah. I didn't know John Cena was retiring now. Did they ever really fully retire though? I mean, I feel like they try and then like 3 or 4
this year he came out and said it's gonna be the last of everything.
Well, didn't The Rock say that before? Then they brought The Rock back for stuff, and then like
but that's different. Rock
stuff. The Ric Flair came back.
Rock helped buy the company, so.
Yeah. Well, Hulk Hogan came back after he was supposedly retired too before. So
they never retire.
Yeah. When you retire and you get put into the WWE Hall of Fame, can you come back? Like you can't come back now because we put you in the Hall of Fame. Like that's the concern with NFL right now on Bill Belichick. Because he's like, he's got a clause he may get out, might come back to the NFL at some point. And it's like, well, you're not supposed to come back if you're in the Hall of Fame by now.
Yeah. Well, Tony La Russa did with the White Sox. He came back as a manager after he was in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, I got no problem with it. It's kind of like, can't you go in the Hall of Fame? You can't. Does basketball put you in if you're still a coach or whatever? You got to be done coaching and stuff too. Isn't there one sport where you can go in, but you still be active? Or are they all like after?
I think it's all after.
All after? Okay. Yeah. That would be kind of interesting. What is up, Emerson? Cheers, my friend. Drunken piano bar. No fucking comments, just me talking. Cheers. Yeah, apparently that's what it was. Nobody could comment. Just listen to the music. Listen to me ramble. Listen to the music.
Yeah.
See that rambling man in the background. I'd have been perfect for that.
You want us to leave and come back?
No, I put Rambler Man on, then I'm going to get like hit with the YouTube censor type thing.
Do you ever get hit with that?
I've gotten it before on a couple of things, and it's like I can go back and I can either mute the song out or cut that clip or whatever like that and everything. Mm-hmm. But only once did I get like taken right down. We were doing a live stream, and that was because of I don't know if you know Redbeard. I think Dan, you know Redbeard out of Canada. We were doing something a few years ago. It was during the Winter Olympics, and he's like, "You got to see this clip or whatever." And he pulled it. It was less than 5 seconds. It was curling with the Canadian team. The IOC like shut it right down.
All right. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab another beer real quick.
All right, shut it down and blocked it. Like, I'm like, guys, the IOC's got that much power. They're just like, nope, no curling.
I remember me and Josh were on a live stream on his channel, and we were watching clips of like vintage WWF Attitude Stone Cold clips and stuff.
Yeah.
Boom, that live stream got shut down. I'm like, shut down. They're like, nope. WWE was like, not happening today, fellas.
Yeah. I feel like it would be good advertising for them. Like, just give the option, keep it up, but you can't monetize it, or if you're not monetizing,
well,
you're not monetizing
I think
anyway.
you gotta do it a certain way, right? Because like, if you look, there's like all those music react channels.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like if you play it for like 5 seconds, stop it, talk about it, play it, you can.
No, I mean, I kick ass on my reaction channel when I actually do it. It's just, you know, the copyright things come up. You got to defend it as fair use. So I have like a whole statement that I send to them.
Right.
And it's usually clear with no problem because, you know, I'll play it. I'll interrupt it like in certain clips to give my perspective on stuff. But it's not going to be like short as 5 seconds. It can go like a minute or two. And as long as you can provide an educational piece to it or whatever that you're bringing, that's breaking it up enough, I guess. But yeah. But copyrights. Yeah, I mean, the artists, I can see they want to make sure nobody's stealing stuff off them. But if you're giving like feedback and stuff on, it's also a good benefit for them too. So,
Very true.
Yeah, and I always link back to their actual contact as well to all the stuff they're doing. So, so now that people can comment, and I'll go back to the other question when I started out earlier. New Year resolutions. Do you do them? Do you believe in them? Have you done them before, or you ever think about?
I did one. It's like 6 or 7 years ago where I said, I have issues. I have a lot of hats and like pint glasses. So I said one year, I'm not going to buy any hat this year. And I didn't. Ruby bought me one from a brewery that we were at. She was like, here, I know you're not going to buy it. You were looking at the hat, just here's the hat. But I did not buy it. But I've since made up for that in the years afterwards.
Well, you were smart to choose hat and not pint glass.
Yeah. Got my new one the other day from Harpoon.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the Harpoon news or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're actually merging with the owners of Smutty Nose and them. So they'll be in the same family now going forward. And along with Long Trail, too. So Long Trail does some good beers as well.
Yeah, that was one of the companies I was telling you about before you jumped on about like running like host promo ads on a podcast. So I talk about it, like you get like 15% off if you go to the Harpoon store. So I grabbed like a hat and a pint glass because they're like one of the OGs in craft beer. I'm like, I'll support them.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I can get being back here, which is weird because in Maryland, I can never find them, it seemed. But the Harpoon and their Dunkin' beers.
Yeah.
I always enjoy trying those ones out. So here I can get them like Jungle Gyms and a few places around here. One of the funny things too, Dan, it's like, because I hadn't talked to you in a while, but when I left Cincinnati, usually Joe was our mule for other half. So then I got to Maryland, I got other half, but now I'm back in Cincinnati, and now I find stores here that have other half. So now we got distribution of them here. So that's cool in that regard.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did they open the tap room in Chicago yet?
Yeah. Oh, other half, in Chicago.
Yeah.
That's why I figured once they entered there, it would slowly creep down, and they're slowly going across the country.
Yeah.
It's gonna be once they hit California, that'll be the
like I don't know if you know, like Shalonda, Afro Beer Chick. Once they opened, they had like, the grand opening and stuff. And they were charging like $12-13 a pint at the bar. And she was like, this isn't New York, and they were like, oh, we misread the market and they knocked it back down. I don't know what it is now. I haven't been there yet, but yeah, they were trying to sell like it, Manhattan prices. Like, no, that doesn't work here.
So it's funny because I don't know. I'm assuming it's not other half because I know what they charge here. But I mean, I live like right next to the brewery. So where Bumpy lives and like Tanner lives up in the Northeast, like Bumpy says it's like $28 for a 4-pack of double IPA from Other Half. So I'm assuming it's the distributor. I could be wrong, but that's insane.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it could depend on what Other Half it is, though, too. Like if it's one of their like imperial stout type things, because in Baltimore, most of their 4-packs were probably around 18 to 20. And then as you went up to some of the double IPAs, you're in the 22 to 24. But some of their specialized stouts, pastry stouts, would go a little bit more.
Yeah, no, the way he made it sound, it was just your normal offerings, and they were just exorbitant pricing. Like, and that's a shame. That's a shame that you know people price that so out of control that you can't buy it.
I mean, I'd pay that for a barrel age, but just for a regular double IPA, I don't care how good you are. I could find something closer by that's a lot cheaper than that.
I mean, the classic example of that, right? When they first came into the market here was 450 North. It was $40 for a 4-pack. That first came in.
That's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was back right around before, I think that was before the 450 North Spygate, Watergate, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. I still get views on that video I did with them too. With that. Yeah.
But they're still fairly expensive. I'm talking like $8 a can here. And,
that's more than
And that just doesn't vibe here. Like we got Mortalis here. I just go to Mortalis. You know what I mean? Like you said, there's plenty of options. No matter what part of the country you are, I think we're to the point where you have plenty of local offerings. They can get drastically cheaper that are just as good, if not better. Yeah. It sucks though when you do see that whale on the shelf. You're like, oh, I have not had them. I really want to try them. Oh, and you look at the price. You're like, not today.
Yeah. But that's something we talked about kind of in ways about before. I think we were talking about last week, me and Todd, where you have some of your beers, you're like, I'm not going to pay that or whatever. But then it's like, oh, wait a minute, Bourbon County's out. And here we go with this special edition, Old Fitzgerald, $40 a bottle. Hell, I'll pay for that. So then it becomes, how much are you willing to go and sacrifice for that? What is that in that situation?
You know where they sucker me in? Well, they sucker me in. Well, I'll throw Mike in the hat too, because they sucker Mike in too. So Dave, Mike is my co-host. FLX is a 2-person channel. It's a tradition. It's our Black Friday tradition.
Yeah.
So almost to the point where we go to the same spot every year, and we get there about an hour and a half early, because there's always the same people that show up. And these people we don't see all year. We see them this one day. And it's like, oh, hey, buddy. It's like, and then like you're all jubilee. You're like so happy. And you pick up the box. They scan it. It says $40. You look.
You're like, what are you going to do? Yeah. I'm pretty much sure Goose Island has it all there, like Clark Griswold in Vegas Vacation at the blackjack table. Just taking us all to school on that.
I mean, have you guys? They fumbled the bag this year, I think.
With what?
They fumbled the bag this year. The Bardstown was good. That was really good. I enjoyed the Bardstown, but that base is something. That base is something this year.
I haven't cracked it open yet. You didn't like it, or you thought it was really that good?
No, like I don't know if they just set the bar too high in the past 3 years with the bases, and now we're just back down to regular bourbon.
Yeah.
Well, how much?
If you haven't had it yet, I won't say anything.
Yeah, I haven't picked it up yet because here, like, they've already, like, a couple weeks later, they already went on sale at our grocery store. They knocked it down to like $9.99. Last year, it was like right in middle of January. They had them down like half off. So I'm like, well.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Half off, huh?
Yeah.
That's for all the people that want to say, F you, Dave. We're not getting half off here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave he gets a pretty good deal there when it starts breaking down.
Yeah.
So
Well, not even like in a liquor store. This is like your grocery store. Like, move to sell. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, we got them in our grocery store. I was waiting to see if they're going to mark them down. They haven't done it yet. They still got the macaroon and the rye and the base.
The vanilla rye.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only ones we saw here in the Western New York area were the base, the macaroon, the vanilla rye, and the Bardstown actually came late. It was about a week later, and all the stores around here posted on their social media like, hey, sorry, something happened. It won't be in the Rochester, Buffalo area. And a couple of bottle shops, hey, give me your number. I'll let you know when it comes here. But I think...
Well, you only have 4 this year.
There's the Chicago ones. There's the rare, the prop.
Right.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, but they were pretty easy to find here. But go ahead, Dave.
Yeah. I remember, what was it, like 5-6 years ago, like you would go to their prop days and, you'd buy your ticket and it was like, I think 120 or 180 bucks, like depending on which package you wanted to get. And you got your beer and then you could just go and eat and drink all day. And it was really cool. There were guys outside like the ticketed area when you left. We had a wad of hundreds, just like, I'll pay you 100 for that. I'll pay you 100 for that. And it's just like, part of me is like, I went with the buddy of mine. He's like, sell the one, we'll share the other, and we'll get some of our money back. And we did that. But it's like, I don't think you're going to see that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was, back then, because you had more rarity. So, yeah.
More rarity, and they didn't F with barley wines.
Yeah.
Like that prop this year, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of barley wines. Once we go past like the 4th adjunct, I'm just like, okay.
Yeah. Well, you probably get a lot of good stuff from Smutty Nose out in your area, though, too, because they like to mess around the barley wines. But you're not a huge Smutty Nose fan.
Honestly, there's not a lot here.
Oh, really? I would think they would get down to New York from where they were at up there. Okay. Because they're they're Bumpy's territory, so yeah.
Yeah. We don't get a lot here. You know what was weird this year? I hadn't seen it. Like, I saw it before, but I guess not as much. We got like this huge like wave of like Weyerbacher stuff in. It was like, that was weird. Like around here, like you see it here and there, but you had the whole lineup this year. I'm like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Well, they do some pretty good brews. I like Blither and Idiot and a few of the other
things. Yeah, that was there.
Yeah.
Saw that.
And then let's see here. The other thing I was talking about earlier was I'm seeing like people do some of this gloom and doom about the whole beer, craft beer doing this, craft beer doing that. As far as silent time or part of the cycle, for me, I don't think it's much outside of really the reshaping of things. So,
yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I think it's the yang from the yin of that boom of everybody opening up a brewery. There was that time where there was a new brewery on every block that I could see opening. Oh, new brewery coming. I just don't think the market can sustain. I mean, the older breweries, the OGs here, still rocking and rolling. The people that opened up in the past 5 years, some are open, some aren't. And then you get the big boys that just kind of clean house wherever they go.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it too is, back in the day, and maybe even 10, 15 years ago, not that that's back in the day, but you had brewers opening breweries. Now it's like money people opening breweries, and they're not into it for the craft and the love. They're into it because, hey, this is an expanding market. Let me get in on this. Let me try to capitalize on this. And when they see, everything is local, they're not making the return on their investment, and they just get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they get sold out. Like that platform's whole thing was to sell the business at a certain point. When they launched it, they were very vocal about that. So when AB and Bev came knocking, they took the check with no problem because they were kind of that same thing. It wasn't like they were brewing the brew. I don't think it was more the brew and make a business opportunity out of it. And so, But yeah, you have some people that kind of do that. But it's all business and industries go through it, where it's like a reshaping and stuff. I mean, we see it all the time, like in the financial area, where different banks get absorbed by other banks, or insurance companies get absorbed by other insurance companies. It's just the way it is. And I think with craft brewing, to the point, there was that whole community thing, but you look on the scope of things. So last year, 399 closed, but like 330 opened up. So you had about a net minus of 60 that took place. You got 50 states, you got 350 million people, whatever. It's not, I feel like it's there, but it's not as huge. It's not making that much of a dent. And then a lot of scenarios when things close, you have other things that jump right in a lot of areas. So, you know, right now, this World of Beer, they just came out of chapter 13. They're planning to open up 4 or 5 new locations coming back out now. So you have things that are definitely happening out there. So I just feel like there's different things with it. You do have. It's funny, like every talk about like the younger people not drinking as much. When we have our company functions, just about every younger person is asking me what beer they should be trying.
Yeah,
and they go try it. So I'm like, I don't know if younger people aren't drinking enough because they don't know how to be educated about beer, or if it's just something where they're just like not gravitated toward it as of yet. So there's like different things there. Not to mention the recreational marijuana and stuff like that you have in some states, not to mention some do want to have the healthier life. So you have a lot of stuff that's in play.
I think that's where that low ABV thing comes into.
Yeah.
Because the new generation, right? I don't want to like paint a book by its cover here or whatever, but the new generation, right? They drink a lot of like seltzers and stuff like that. So I don't think they're looking for that 7.5% IPA. I think they're looking for a nice 5% IPA. I can drink a bunch with my buddies and do what I got to do and stuff like that.
Oh. Sometimes you get to some of those frat parties, they're looking for that 7%.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's why they got malt liquor. Come on now. Get a case of Mickey's and call it a day.
Yeah.
Emerson said, "Damn, my family's in Rochester. I hit Beers of the World, not far from Henrietta. Cheers to Western."
Oh, nice,
yeah.
Man. Yeah, Emerson, I'm assuming he used to shop at AJ's. Rest in peace to AJ's Beer Warehouse. Their family got the bag. So AJ's Beer Warehouse, they're in Henrietta, not too far from Beers of the World. And what was cool about their store is their entire shop was a cooler, basically. So anything that came there, it's in a cooler. It was the big beer cave or whatever. And they focused on localized stuff, but they got some heavy hitter stuff in too. But Henrietta is sort of like Rochester's. If there's a nationwide business, you're going to find it in that area. You know, the big. So what happened was the owners basically, from what I heard, got approached with a very nice offer from the local development company that owns all this stuff. And their kids were getting older. They want to go do stuff with them and cashed out.
Yeah.
Can't blame them.
Yep.
Yeah. Everybody thinks they want to know what they want to do until the zeros get put in front of them.
Yeah.
It's like, I can do a lot with that.
Well, I mean, so that's another thing, like tying back to the breweries closing and stuff. A lot of them are just selling, right, for the bigger guys. Other half bought a local brewery here called the name of it was Young Lion. They bought it strictly for the fact that they have a 35 barrel system and 5 90 barrel fermenters. So they can up their ante and get stuff in the grocery stores. That's the only reason they bought that place.
Yeah. I mean, the opportunity's there. So, yeah. And then
Beers of the World, man. Man, they got some Dusties on the shelf there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mentioned I'm drinking right now. I'm drinking the Taps Gavel Banger. So the people that saw the video this weekend, Taps Brewing was one of their breweries here. And I believe that the whole brewery is now shut down, but Sunday was their last day. I didn't realize that when I found out last Friday on Instagram. I saw your video. Yeah, and I was like, let me go down here and see what's going on. And the guy told me, we got to close by Sunday. So I ended up getting like these glasses, like 2 for $5, and then
You got a Rod J deal.
Yeah,
You capitalized on their business failure. Look at you.
I told him I felt bad. I do feel bad that I don't beer anymore. And they were a little local spot. The main one they had downtown in Cincinnati had closed a while back, and that was actually done in one of the old churches. So a lot of people like going there. It was kind of cool. But you know what? As soon as they closed, someone else bought another brewery to take over that one. This one, they're actually getting turned into a cannon line for one of the beverage factories that's connected to them. It's going to be a cafeteria where they were actually working at before. So, but I was like, $3 a 6-pack or $10 a case. You had to go take a look. Like I swore, like I wasn't going to buy any more beers for a while till I drank what I had. But if somebody tells you $10 for a case of beer, don't you have to look? Don't you have to look like, you're like,
oh yeah,
yeah. Like, I don't really need it anymore, but if you're going to give me that low, it's like, all right.
In 2019, we had a brewery closing here. Oh, my gosh. Wow. Why am I blanking on the name? It's been that long.
Wow.
Custom Brew
already.
Crafters.
Okay.
Yeah, Custom Brew Crafters. So anyways, they shut down. I went there on the last day, and I bought, it was like 2 cases of this guava IPA, and I got it all for like $15 for 2 cases of this stuff. Needless to say, I was like super stoked, right? But by the end of all this beer, I'm just like, I never want another guava IPA in my life.
People coming over, hey, take a beer. Take a beer. Take a beer.
Oh, you kidding me? I'm like, hey, here's a 4-pack.
Yeah. Kid knocking on the door, trick or treat. Here's a 4-pack. Here you go.
Yeah. I've brought that up before and some stuff before. Is there a point where you can get, everybody likes to say no, but is there a point you can get to where you have too much beer? Like you open up the beer cellar and you're just like, Jesus Christ, what am I going to do with all of this? Yeah. Like, I'm never going to get through all of this. Like, I got to start putting this in my will because somebody else is going to have to come drink it when I'm gone.
You know, I was working my cellar down a little bit. Yeah. And boy, I don't know what happened. There was like a 3-week span where bottles just started gravitating towards my home. Yeah. It was weird. It was like Encounters of the Third Kind. Just I see bottles floating in there going in the cellar. I don't know.
Oh, well, I think a lot of these breweries coming out with these limited releases, like, why they got to be limited? Just put it in here all year and I'll come back and get it later. Well, we're not going to be making it. Like, why? Yeah. Why? Yeah, so, I mean, most of the stuff I buy for home now is stuff I can cellar because it's going to be a while before I get to it, unless it's something like this crazy thing. And it's like, okay, I got to move them to the front because they're all IPAs or I had a creamsicle one earlier. It's like, I got to drink that now. I don't want to wait on that. So it's like, Jesus, but I guess it's a good problem to have overall. But I saw somebody earlier, they cracked open. One of the breweries here is closed now, but it was called Rivertown. And they did a lambic and they cracked open I want to say it was like a 2014, maybe lambic or like that and everything. Was lambics you can sell her for a good amount of time if you're doing it properly. But it's just like, I don't want to be that guy. I want to have like a 10 or 11 year beer. My thing. I know some of these guys that find like, oh, this is a 15-year-old beer I never did. It's like, it's like an imperial something. Like you could drink it, like, but I don't want to wait that time. It's like, it gets to be too much after a point.
What's the longest you've ever had a beer cellared?
I think right now, with this 2025 now, so just got to do 20. I think I got I think the Bourbon County, I think goes back to 2019. I got in there. I've got, I think, some Big Bad Baptist from 2017. So that's over 7 years. But I've gotten some stuff like a vintage type thing you might come across where it's in good shape and it's been like, a 2015 or something like that, and you have it like a 2023 or whatever. So I've had some older ones, but for me personally, we're probably like 7 or 8 years. I think it's the most thus far.
Dan, what about you?
Me personally, I would say 6 years. Yeah, I have older stuff, but that's just because the store was kind enough to cellar it for me.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So, there are some stores I go into. I do kind of look for those really dusty bottles. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
what do we got here?
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, about 6 years. Really, I didn't start my own cellaring until 2018, 19-ish.
Yeah. Well, it's like when we did the beer tuber thing when I went to Niagara Falls last year. Mal had brought in a Bourbon County. It was a 10 years old Bourbon County. That baby was so smooth. It was like me and Joe both drank that. We looked at each other like, "What the? Yeah, this is good." Yeah.
Yeah, some of that stuff. You're chasing the dragon on some of that stuff. Like maybe last year, a year and a half ago, Joe had brought over a 2013 Bourbon County barley wine, and that was like Michelangelo's.
Yeah. Like you're having a moment at that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I said, don't talk right now. Don't Oh man.
Yeah, because I mentioned that because I used to keep the Anchor Steam Christmas beers. Like I always like bury a 4-pack, and I wound up before I moved the last time, found a 21-year-old.
Oh,
And it was still pretty good. I mean,
wow.
the carbonation level was good, wasn't oxidized, which I was kind of afraid of, but I'm like, this is still really good. And those are all gone, but there's a bar here. It's like a shithole dive bar that does have some of the old magnums of the Anchor Christmas.
And, nice.
Yeah. I know a buddy of mine just had one the other day. I'm like, oh, good job, man.
So right before they closed, I had picked up a 6-pack of the 2021, and a 6-pack of the 2022. And then when they closed, they said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. So I've been doing it ever since then. Is on Christmas Eve, I drink the 2021. On Christmas Day, I do the 2022. And I'll keep doing that until they run out. I have 3 left of each now.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I got 3 more Christmases.
Yeah.
To check it out.
Well, hope by next Christmas they might be back up again. So they couldn't pull it off for this year, but with the Joe Panny guy, he's probably getting them, from what I understand, get them built back up. So
yeah, this is easily 20 years ago, and I wish I still had them, or maybe they're in my storage locker, but I bought from them like their pint glasses, and like the label was etched on there and was the gold rim. I think it's in the storage unit, or they got lost amongst divorces and moves and everything else. But I wish I still had that, because that was the thing. Like you always had to bury a 6-pack of that somewhere.
Yeah. Emerson, Dan, yes sir, Dan. My sister works at Wegmans Corp, best store ever. So my mom was there, and I spent my holidays there. Never got to enjoy the other stores, sadly. I always hear stuff about Wegmans. Now, Wegmans is in New Jersey as well. I never went to the one where my mom.
Wegmans is, I don't know, man. Wegmans is life.
What makes it stand out for Wegmans? Is it just they got like a super deli or something in there? Like, what's going on with Wegmans?
Everything's super. No, like I'm serious.
This sounds like me talking about Wawa.
Yeah.
No, like Wegmans does everything over the top.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And the prices are there to meet it, but they do everything over the top. Like, and Wegmans is like they've had the reputation of like produce, all that stuff. Like, you never find anything bad at Wegmans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, Rod, if you're craving prime rib and shrimp right now and you just want to go to Wegmans. They'll hook you up. There you go. Like, anything, like just gourmet. It's just, I don't know. Wegmans is, and even the brand name stuff is better than half this other stuff. So
really,
I don't know.
Okay.
Everything's over the top at Wegmans. It's
seems like the I know a guy type store there.
Yeah.
What do you want? I know a guy. Hang right here. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Good beer selections too.
Yeah. Ginger in the house. Cheers, Ginger.
Hey.
Great to see you, John, my friend. Another great channel. If you haven't checked out Ginger Yeti, make sure to check him out. John was there with us in Niagara Falls at the last beer event as well. He's pretty good fun. He gets to travel with different bands around the world, like setups and all that kind of stuff. So pretty cool. But
Wegmans sushi bar too. That's banging.
Okay. Well, everybody's got like a sushi bar nowadays, right? Like,
not everyone.
Not really. Like, I don't know. Here at Kroger, we see them at Kroger all the time when they have.
They got them there. They're rolling up sushi all day, and
yeah,
they got the burger bar, they got the wing bar, pizza bar.
Like going to Wegmans and be like that scene in Kill Bill when he's like doing there making his sushi.
And when I said prime rib and shrimp, I'm not saying you can go there and buy it and bring it home and cook it. I'm saying you want it, it's cooked. Go there, get it, have your meal. There you go.
Oh, okay. I may have to check out one of the Wegmans. Saw an interesting piece earlier. I don't know. Have you guys ever stayed at a brewery hotel? USA Today ran a piece about the 8 best brewery hotels that every beer lover needs to visit. Now that I'm back in Ohio, I do want to go up to Brewdog and probably stay at theirs.
I have one on my list, and that's Von Trapp.
Oh, Von Trapp would be a good one to go.
I would love.
Sure.
Yes,
yeah.
Von Trapp is.
I might be.
It was supposed to happen last year when Beerman and Bumpy and Tanner.
Oh yeah, when they ran together. Yeah.
But unfortunately, some stuff happened. I couldn't get the time off from work, and so I didn't go. But the plan was originally to meet over at Von Trapp and then just kind of go over to Maine and all that stuff. But, yeah.
I may go to Von Trapp, become a squatter, like not even leave, like refuse to leave.
Yeah.
Remember what was that old Michael Keaton movie, Pacific Heights, where he like bores himself into the room, they can't get rid of him, like as a tenant or whatever. It's like, I'm not coming out ever. They got some good beer for Von Trapp.
I just had their Truston. That's pretty good. Their smoked lager.
I'm all about the smoke. I mentioned it earlier tonight. Yeah, bring me all the smoke.
Bro, watch out, Rod. You're creeping up on Keith from 93 Lumber, spelled out his territory. He's all about it.
I'm all smoke, man. That was I did my top beers of 2024, and number one beer was one from Extra and Curl. I mean, it was.
Keith hasn't done an episode in a while, but we talked him into, because he loves smoked beer so much.
Yeah.
An episode of Will It Smoke, where he just has beers and he's got liquid smoke. And he's...
Had to bust out the hat for you, Rod J.
Oh yeah.
What's that gonna do, brother?
Rausch beer.
Rausch beer runs wild.
Yeah. It doesn't have the Hulk Hogan colors on there though.
Yeah.
Well, Hulk Hogan's on the American lager, so. Yeah. And of course, last week we had Jimmy Carter, who died, right? But a lot of times people look at Jimmy Carter, because what he did was sign the bill that allowed us to do craft beer. But often what gets lost in it is it was also Senator Alan Cranston and Representative William Steiger who actually put the details of the home brewing in the bill, because the original bill was mainly about excise taxes that were going to be on trucks and buses. And they were able to put it in there to allow people to actually brew 100 gallons per person and an adult in the house, or 200 if you were married. So why Jimmy Carter does get the credit, obviously, for signing off on it, I feel like the other two guys get left out sometimes for actually being the ones to put it in there. So
Jimmy Carter hung out with Willie Nelson. You got to give him some props for that.
Oh, yeah. For a guy that doesn't drink that much or smoke.
Yeah.
Who are you hanging out with?
Yeah. It's a picture, like, with all the tributes coming into him. They had a picture of Jimmy Carter with an Allman Brothers shirt on. You were talking about Ramblin' Man earlier. I'm like, I don't think you've ever seen a president with an Allman Brothers t-shirt on.
Yeah, he was he kept some interesting company that was like that, like back in the day, like when they used the term squared, like, who's that square? That's the president of the United States, Like, that was Jimmy Carter. Came a long way for being a peanut farmer. So Mm. But thanks to him, we had the launch of the various craft breweries, and
Every beer we drink today is influenced by that bill.
yeah. I think before he did it, when did Fritz do Anchor? Was that the late 60s? So that was
that was like before that, but I mean, you
Bill,
had everybody
Ted
from like
Grossman
Ted
after.
Grossman, yeah,
and he had
and
Jim
everyone
Cook
else,
yeah. He was like the one rare thing that he had something going already, but that even allowed him to expand more from what he was doing at Anchor, though. So yeah, I'm just gonna put Dan there until he comes back. But yeah, so just want to give a shout out to them, as well, just because sometimes they get left off.
Yeah.
But that's the whole funny thing, like talking
bipartisan bill, which you don't see anymore.
Yeah. And talking, that's the other thing I was going to say too. How nice it was when people used to actually work together from across the aisle.
Yeah.
Where are those days at nowadays?
Yeah.
That's what I said, beer brings everybody together. So, but it was interesting because talking to Marty from the American Craft Beer Hall of Fame, we're a month away from finding out who gets in, by the way, in the inaugural class. Then once they announce that, I'll tell you who I voted for. I'll do a show to see who I voted for that.
I mean, when I talked to Marty too, I'm like, there's got to be some Mariano Rivera's in there. There's got to be some unanimous. Like, you'd have to figure Michael Jackson, the beer writer, has to be unanimous.
Yeah.
Grossman. I mean, you'd think a couple people just have to be locks at 100%. And he's like, I know, but I can't tell.
Yeah. We don't get to see any of it. We just got to put our 10 down on our ballot.
Yeah.
When it got shipped in. But it was interesting him talking about like some of the names that were suggested by people, and then they get in there and they get like 1 or 2 votes. Yeah. And it's like, I even, bring this person up type things. But working through the list, I was a little surprised on a couple of people I went with that I probably didn't think going in, but then realizing what they'd actually done kind of changed that a little bit. But it was tough choices all the way around. So I'm looking forward to see that get announced.
Yeah, and I mentioned to him, I'm like, where was Pierre Celis? Pierre Celis, to me, would be on like the Mount Rushmore of craft beer. Started Hoegaarden. I mean, whether you like him or not, a ton of people drink the shit out of Blue Moon, and you wouldn't have Blue Moon without Pierre Celis coming up with the Belgian wit category. Yeah. Allagash, all of that came, as a result from him.
True. Yeah, it's like Bill Walsh with a little coaching tree there.
Yeah.
Were you going to say something, Dan? I see the wheels turning.
No, when you said that, I just remembered my first Blue Moon.
Yeah.
It had an orange slice in it. My first.
Yes. Yeah. I think they always get you with the orange slice at first because you're like, what is it? And it's like, that's how it's served. Like, I'm not a fruit to beer kind of person usually. And I'm like, I have the traditional like wit beer. It's kind of like no fruit on the type thing. But, if you went on there, like I've gotten to a point now where the Mexican lager, like when I go to a Mexican restaurant, the Zekis and things like that, the Modelo, they have the lime one. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of used to that now. I like that little lime back taste that you get on that little flavor. Whereas great with the Mexican food. So, okay. Yeah. I'll allow some fruit in my glass in this place.
I get offended. I'm like, oh, where's my lime at? I need the lime.
In fact, can I get 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm all about the lime, man.
Yeah. But so that'll get announced. I don't know what day in February. I just know in February is when the announcements come out. And then I think 2 months after that is when we'll have the Craft Beer Marketing Awards.
Yeah.
So that'll be coming up pretty soon. This will be the 3rd year that I'll be on that panel. I know you were on it now. You were on. This is your 3rd year too, or is it longer?
No, I was on. I think this is my 4th year.
4th year. Yeah. So that's always kind of fun to see the different packaging from breweries to be able to put a vote in and what you see.
Yeah, like you get upgraded throughout the year. So like last year was the first year I had can design, which was really cool. I started out with like some minuscule category, and it was still cool. But now I got up to like can design. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I think what they were looking at least as seen on my end, it was kind of because they had 2 categories last year, but it was based more on looking at what you're doing online or your persona. Because last year I was in the social media marketing.
Okay.
So it was social media marketing that some of the breweries were doing. I was in that category, which was pretty cool.
Okay.
So it's fun to take a look there and do that. And I think this year is actually, is it Indianapolis? Not Indianapolis. That's where it's going to be for. No, it might be Indianapolis. The craft beer conference, I think, is Indianapolis this year.
All right.
So isn't it usually at the craft beer conference when they do?
Yeah.
I think so. So if it is,
like the World Beer Cup and everything that's all tied in together.
So I may have to try to go there this year since now I'm back in Cincinnati. It's 2 hours from here. So, but I'm looking forward to being to Ohio Brewing Conference. I'll be up there at the end of this month. So I get a chance to actually hang out with Cape or Not, who I've been a big fan of, and we communicate a lot of stuff. And then Dr. Jill will be there too. So I'll get a chance to meet her and talk and stuff too. And hopefully get some good stuff to share here on the media and everything. So that'll be a great time. A lot of good beer happenings taking place. Speaking of beer happenings, I'm empty. I need to go get a beer.
You get yours, and I'll get mine when you get them back.
Yeah, you guys talks about your channels or something, or things you're gonna be bringing up or whatever.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, you went to get the Genesee. Look at you.
Oh, gotta get J Light.
Dan, now that we're Instagram buddies, send me like your info and stuff, because like I started a page for like people like us who are beer enthusiasts, and we're not like in a fucking bikini or whatever holding up a can of beer. So it's called Beer Media Group, and it's just like a page, and I got like everybody listed, whether they do podcasts like me or video or whatever, and I'll add you to like the page and the group. So I'll send you something when we get off of this, where you can send it to me, but definitely I'll include you on a list.
So this is like Jenny's my everyday crusher. I live in Rochester. Jenny's like gospel here.
Yeah,
you can't beat it, man. I mean, I buy a 12-pack of this for $8.99.
How do you say no? Yeah, you have to. You got to buy it.
It's classic. I hop back and forth between that and the cream ale, but Jenny's gospel around here, and they're seasonal. They're still like their seasonal beers are still like $10, and it's like $10.29 for a 12-pack, which you can't beat either.
Yeah, before you jumped on, Rod was asking me about it, and like we could get the cream ale here, but it's one of those like I don't know how old this is because this has been sitting here a while.
Yeah,
but it's still a good beer. But it's like, I just wish more people would buy it locally so I could grab some.
Now, do you guys get the Deuces, the big 24-ounce cans at all? Stuff like that?
Yeah, like I picked up a bunch because I'm going to do like a macro blind taste test in the next couple of weeks. So, we do get those. And it's just weird seeing like not just the stovepipe, but, even some of like the bigger players are getting into that huge format. Yeah.
I mean, some of the things I'm like, I enjoy because if I want to try one. So, was it Mighty Squirrel Brewing? Their double cloud candy. I had never had it. I saw it in like the stovepipe can. It was like $4-something. I said, screw it, let's try it. I think that's maybe what they're going for. Those people are like, oh, let's try this. I'll grab this to go with my fishing trip, or I'm going to stand in the parking lot for the next few hours, grab a couple of these, and watch our sporting event.
Definitely, stovepipes the new bomber. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, are we actually fooling ourselves with the whole stovepipe thing? Because we got away from a 22-ounce bomber, and we're going down to a 19.2, but really, we're talking about 2.8 ounces. Like, who are we really fooling? Like, 2.8 is going to make a difference.
Yeah.
It'll make a difference. Yeah. Now, I will say being in a can versus being in a bottle might be one argument, but I just feel like, I don't know. They're easier to pack. than those big bottles and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
lighter,
pack
easier.
them and stack them.
Yeah, easier to pack, lighter to ship, saves you money.
Yeah,
but coming up in 18 days, we might have some new tariffs. Aluminum comes from Canada and China.
Yeah, I mean there are talks about stuff. If behind the scenes,
if everyone goes towards the travesty of Old English, I'll be highly disappointed.
Yeah.
I'll never forget years ago the first time I opened up that cooler. I'm like, get some OE, baby, and I'm like, grab for that 40. I'm like, what the hell is this? It's a plastic bottle.
No,
no.
Yeah.
Come on, man. This ain't Mountain Dew. Put it in the glass bottle.
Although putting OD in a plastic bottle for safety reasons might be a better bet, but it ain't the same.
Yeah,
it ain't the same. Is brown bag still required if you're drinking OD?
Yeah.
I feel like brown bag is still required.
Dude, over the summer, I picked up a couple of deuces of OE. I was like, you know what? I want some OE. Picked it up because I went through this little malt liquor phase because a brewery here called Warhorse Brewing, they made their own craft malt liquor. It was called Fight Pony. Mm-hmm. So it got me amped for malt liquor. It was fucking awesome because they put in like stovepipe cans. Yeah. It's a craft malt liquor. I'm like all about it, right? So I'm like, you know what? I want to drink some more. So me and Mike we got a Steel Reserve for the channel. Tried that out. Genesee makes Genesee Black, which is their malt liquor. That's not bad, but it went through the little malt liquor phase. So
we get craft into a malt liquor. I mean, I don't even know. I feel like that's definitely the shark being jumped at that point.
Yeah.
Listen, I straight up told the brewery, I said, you guys are ballers, guys. Like, you guys are ballers doing this.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up here. There's a brewery here off color. They put one out for the holidays, beer for dealing with your family. And it's a malt liquor. And I'm trying to see if I can I thought it was like 11 or 12% ABV. It's really good, but I'm trying to get the ABV here and I don't see it on their webpage real quick. But yeah, that's an awesome beer.
Like that's just asking for a family fight. You start serving.
Yeah.
Cheers, Paul.
Yeah.
Home from the second job. Man's all over.
I'm going to grab another beer. I'll be right back, gentlemen.
All right. Put Old E in the drain for safety reasons, right? Just pour it out. Not for your homies, but just out.
You know what I haven't had in a while? And I want to try and find it. I don't know if they still make it. Maybe they do. Country Club.
Oh God, that's old school right there. Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I want to go try it. I didn't buy it, but I saw Colt. So I might buy Colt.
Yeah, you can find Colt and stuff still. You can still find like some of the other things that are out there, like some of the like the Blue Bull, the Red Bull. You can find
I guess part of it's nostalgia too. Just like, oh, okay. I haven't had this since I was.
Yeah, nostalgia for me is like back in 21. I was in high school, son. That was
in high school. We drank
in high school, and
in high school we drank
Mickey's Big Mouth.
We drank warm 20 packs of Budweiser and handles of Mr. Boston Vodka. That was the.
In high school, when I was in high school, favorite would have been like Molson Golden. Because it was Canadian. So back in the 80s, you had Canadian beer, you were the shit at the party. You brought in Canadian, you were the popular person at that point. You had like the Bud, you had the Coors. Coors was around, you had the Miller that was around, but back then in the 80s.
Did you drink much Keystone? Keystone Light?
In college, I drank Keystone. Because when I got to college at WVU, obviously just right down there from kind of out of Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania, Keystone was pretty popular with a lot of stuff. So we get a lot of beer from out of there and stuff. I think a lot of Milwaukee's best back. Yeah.
Dude, I had a buddy. His whole shtick was during parties. His shtick was he'd walk around with a backpack, and in this backpack contained a 12-pack of MBI, Milwaukee's Best Ice, and a funnel. And he'd walk up, be like, funnel? That'd be the thing at the keg parties. Like, funnel? It is like MBI funnels. That's his shit.
Yeah. People would definitely get lit there. And we had Rolling Rock was popular when I was in college, so that was one that we would get. In high school, occasionally we would get, because again, it was a Canadian influence, like Labatt's was something we would come across from time to time. I was never huge into Bud. I mean, Bud would be at some of the parties, but
yeah,
Red Dog was huge in college in the 90s. Because that was like the attitude beer. So in college, Red Dog was pretty popular when it came out.
Do you guys remember Dog Bite?
No.
It was a high gravity lager. It was made by Genesee. I think it was brewed by Genesee. That was back when the Honey Brown was in like the. They did the whole tiki vibe. You know what I mean? The Honey Brown tiki. That was the yellow label and stuff.
Yeah, we get Honey Brown here in like the 24-ounce cans.
Yeah. That's they brought it back. It was gone for a while. They brought it back.
Yeah, we have to get Little Kings here now that we brought back in Cincinnati. So you can get Little Kings here, where that was pretty cool. Yeah. But Honey Brown, I'll use Honey Brown occasionally for like when I make the beer chili. It's really good in it. Flavor.
Well, Jenny has her hands in a lot of pots. I mean, they brew Labatt for Labatt Rochester. Premise, all that stuff. But they brought back stuff. They actually brought back 12 Horse in cans. This you can always get at the tap, the Genesee Brew House, but you could never buy it in cans. So.
Yeah, I know that was a pretty popular one. Yeah.
But yeah, it's always fun going back to all those like beers, when you're older and seeing what you still like. And
I can't believe I used to pitch softball back when after college working and stuff. We had the softball teams drinking Natty Daddy as a pitcher. Because of all the positions where you need to be alert, it'd be the pitching one. Never got beamed. Was always okay, pretty much. We played one game and somebody lined back a shot at the pitcher that was pitching, because I wasn't pitching that game, and he had a duck down. That thing took him out. It was just like I've always had good reflexes though when I pitch. So luckily, knock on wood, but yeah. You see some people some people wear the mask and stuff now, and the cage or whatever like that. But yeah, drinking Natty Daddy and pitching, not a good idea.
Yeah,
you might want to temper it down. But hell, I don't want to drink one of the lower ABV beers. Everybody's drinking the higher ones. I pitched one game, had 7 strikeouts. To get a strikeout of softball is something in itself, but to get 7 strikeouts against the team.
Should have had a sponsorship. You should have had like Nolan Ryan and Advil.
Yeah.
You could have had the Natty Daddies. Yeah.
Put a little bit of spin on it. Now, part of them were high, so that might have been it too, because you can smell the weed all the way out in the mound. Yeah. But still, that's not my problem. It counted.
Nolan Ryan.
That's a you problem. That's not a me problem. Right. That's a you problem.
Hello, Vanessa. Cheers, my friend, at the trucking yard. Picking up your brother, I take it, about an hour from here. Hey, what's up, Todd? Cheers. It's all right, my friend. I got the most loyal partners, Todd and Mal. They're like, anytime they can't make it,
okay, Todd. Like, me and Dave, we're mopping up the aisle. We got it.
Then Vanessa, hello to all the folks and stuff. So for New Year's, did you guys crack over open special beers or anything like that, or just kind of never thought about it? Just
I mean, it was weird because it was very sparse throughout the day. Like I opened up the Bourbon County Rye.
Mm-hmm.
I had opened that up, and I capped. So I opened it, drank some, capped it. Drank some later in the day. Had the intentions of opening up a really nice bottle, and it just never happened. I don't know. It's so we had dropped my son off at his grandma's house, and we were gonna go out and stuff, and we ended up not going out, and we decided, you know what? there's a show we've been wanting to watch,
Yeah.
and we binge watched it. That was our New Year's Eve. So
Yeah.
I just meant to drink, but then we were watching the show, got into it, and didn't really. I sipped on a couple of beers, but
Well, what was
Other
the
than
show?
that.
Now you got us intrigued. What was the show?
From.
Okay.
called
I've had friends tell me to watch that one. I haven't watched it
Yeah,
yet.
so we've been wanting to watch season 3. So I guess background story. We have a 5-year-old, so watching TV and stuff is very hard. So now we just let a show build up, and when we can watch it, we can watch it.
Yeah.
But we really want to watch it. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
It really has got Lost vibes to it. And when I say Lost
but
vibes,
a guy from Lost is on there, like the black guy from Lost, right? He's on From.
Yeah, him. And if you've ever watched Oz, that's the same guy, Augustus.
Yeah, and Oz. Yeah, he was in the wheelchair. And Oz.
Yeah, From is pretty cool. So it's on MGM Plus, I think it is. I don't know. What I usually do is when the season comes out, I'll buy it for the month. We'll watch it and then cancel it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're one of them guys.
Yeah.
Cheers,
But no,
Andy.
so we had 3 shows. We voted on it. We had 3 shows that we wanted to follow up. We wanted to watch season 2 of Silo.
Okay.
The new season of Squid Game is out.
I gotta watch that. So,
And we've been waiting on season 3 of From. So we basically voted, and From was the one that did it because Silo's not all the way out yet. And Squid Game we can watch anytime, really, because that's on Netflix. We have Netflix. So
yeah. What about you, Dave?
that's the longest answer to your question. Sorry.
That's all right. We're drinking beer. That can happen.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'll tell you the show I just finished after we see what Dave may have been drinking or watching.
And it was kind of low key. It was the same thing. We were just like watching TV. I don't even remember what we were watching. Just catching up on old shows, and turned over to because in Chicago we're an hour behind the East Coast, so we watched like the local, which is brutal, local TV channels here with their New Year's Eve stuff. It's like, this is horrible. But so we just did that, cracked open a little champagne, and that was it. But no, I didn't really do any special beers. It was weird because this was like, I've been with the company 37 years. This is the first year I've been able to hold this week off on vacation. So usually like New Year's Day, unless it happens to fall on my day off, I got to work. Hey, planes still fly on New Year's Day. So I'm in bed. So this was the first year we were up, and it was just like uneventful. We were worried about the dog because every idiot blowing off fireworks and the dog goes crazy. So, it was more low key for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did crack this open on New Year's Eve too.
Oh, nice. Nice.
That is Eagle Rare. Very nice.
Yep. So I guess if
I hit the wrong button. Go ahead, Dan. You said there was something. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I really drank anything too much. But I did finish watching on Netflix The Madness. That was pretty intense. That was pretty good. It's a limited series. It's just 8 episodes, and the lead person is Coleman Domingo, who, if you ever saw Fear of the Walking Dead, he was one of the main characters. And he was like the black guy the family runs into and stuff.
I haven't watched it, but
it was.
So it's a limited series.
Yeah, limited series, 8 episodes.
That makes me want to watch it more.
You need to watch it. It's intense. It builds up nicely to the end, and just when you think something's going to be like not go a certain way, they hit you with the bang, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really good.
Isn't that like a relief when you get older when you hear a series? It's a limited series. You're like, okay, I'm down. Let's do this.
Yeah. But then you feel like it has to be good enough for you to dedicate to go into it, right? Because like some series, like my wife would say, you need to watch this. I'm like, it was already canceled, like 2 seasons, 3 seasons. But it's really good. But like, well, it's not going to be anything else coming to it. I feel like, I missed that boat. Like I know I should watch 24 because everybody talked about how good 24 was, but I never went back to watch it. I know I should watch the one. What was the one with Bryan Cranston as the crack?
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. I never watched Breaking Bad, but it's like everybody says how good it is. I should go back and watch. I mean, I don't know.
Rod, I feel like that's a show right there. It's like you gotta wait till you like get COVID or something and you're laid up in bed and just like fire it off.
Just go for like 5 days. Like Sopranos.
That's how I finally watched House of the Dragon. Last time I had COVID, I was like, I'm in the bedroom, kind of secluded from the family. What am I going to do? I was like, oh, House of the Dragon. There we go.
There you go. Start watching it. Yeah. Yeah. So the Madness I just finished. And then last night, because when we moved back to Cincinnati, we went from Xfinity to Spectrum. Well, with Spectrum, we get Disney Channel. That's free for like 3 or 4 months or that and everything. So I can catch up on some of the Marvel type stuff. But then they had Alien. What was the last one that came out? Alien, not Requiem, I want to say, but it's the one that just came out on the latest Alien movie. Anyway, it was on Disney, so I was like, "Oh, I can watch this," and kind of watch that and everything.
Oh,
so
it's on Disney. Oh,
yeah, which is like Disney. You're not okay. Well, I'll roll with it.
I'll check it out.
Well, they got Wolverine and Deadpool in there now too. Right now, I almost watched that. That is such a good movie. Yeah, it was fun. But Alien was all right. It was decent. It wasn't as great because really Scott wasn't director on this one, but it told a different type of story.
So it's not like Prometheus level.
No, but it brought back one of the main characters from the first Alien, which was kind of interesting. That has a big part in it too. So yeah, but
we took the boy Monday to see Sonic 3. That was all right. It was fun movie.
Now Christmas Day we went to see Nosferatu on Christmas Day, and that was interesting. Really good acting. I'm a fan of Willem Dafoe, and he's pretty solid in it, and some of the other actors. But it's a different take on Nosferatu. So on how they played it and stuff. So
it looks interesting.
Yeah, it's very good acting and stuff in it throughout. So yeah.
Did you sneak in a bottle of that while you went to the movies?
No. You know what? I feel like when you go to the movies, because our movies they serve alcohol, that's probably the only thing that doesn't feel like it's a bad value. So you get like a 24-ounce beer, and it's like $9. So
you spent more on popcorn.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So, I'm not a popcorn person, right? But I did bring my own Reese's Pieces. I had them. I went to CVS a day or two before, had those already set. So, had a couple of those, but grabbed like a 24-ounce of like one of the local IPAs, Rheingeist Truth, and was in there enjoying it. Yeah.
Nice.
But anything else besides beer, it's like, dude, like the dogs, the popcorn, a burger, a nacho. Like, what is going on here with the pricing on stuff? Yeah. So,
I feel like we're paying we're paying for the sins of the movie companies, charging them an outrageous price.
Yeah.
To like air the movies, you know what I mean? Like,
and then it's like anything you pay with the card now, no matter where you're at, would you like to provide a tip? Like, fuck, I'm at the counter just asking you to pour me something. Why did I give you a tip for that?
Hey,
and then it's like if you don't do a tip, you feel like the asshole.
Yeah.
I had my wife. We're at the Chinese buffet, right? We got done eating. My wife literally looks at me. She's like, "So did we put a tip on the table?" I said, "For what? We did all the work.
You served yourself." Yeah.
I said, "No, absolutely not. I'm not tipping."
I think you're supposed to tip at the buffet. Like if you go to Golden Corral, you would still leave something there for the people to come get your plates and stuff. I guess I don't know. I just feel like
no. Oh, Golden Corral. No. Listen, I've got opinions on that place.
I don't even go there. We know Golden Corral back in the early like 2000s or whatever, when I had that revelation, like I don't need to be here. Like I'm not a little guy. Dave's met me in person. I'm not a little. When I'm getting bumped off the buffet line by someone bigger than me, and I'm seeing people roll in with their waistbands, sweatpants, like got the elastic and stuff on, and they're bringing in the Sunday paper, they're not going anywhere for a while. Like, I don't need to be in a place like that anymore. Kids putting French fries in a chocolate fountain. It's just like, no, I gotta get out of here.
Golden Corral is insane, man. I haven't been there in years, and we went, and no, it was a Sunday afternoon. It was. You can see how bewildered I am right
sort of
now.
like a narrator on the movie.
It's me, wife, my kid. First of all, it comes a Sunday afternoon. Me, wife, and my kid. It comes like $68.
At a Golden Corral? At a Golden Corral?
Yeah.
Without tip.
So it was one of those deals where in my mind, I assumed it was cheaper, so I just handed her the card, and she's like, "That'll be $68." And there's part of me wanting to say, "No, we're turning around. I don't want to pay this."
Wait a minute, it's you, your wife, and your kid, who's like probably free at that age where he was. Well, at the time you went, it's probably free, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, how the hell is it that much?
$68 on a Sunday afternoon, and we got the food. And if I can define the word slop, I'm going to say Golden Corral. And it was salty slop at that. And I said, never again. It was like eating a gelatin salt lick, half the food. That's what it was terrible, man. Yeah. But yeah, $68. Like, I'm not even like 2 p.m. on a Sunday. $68.
All I can envision is in my mind. I know it's going to Corral, but I still get back to Vegas vacation and Eddie and Clark going down the buffet line.
Bro, if it's a good buffet, like a really good buffet, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
But that, no. You know how much money I could buy it, or how much food I could buy at McDonald's for $68?
I don't know why it was that high. They must have built a tip into it and you didn't know it. Because I don't know why.
Well, I found out they charge you on the receipt. It was like Sunday special dinner or whatever, because it's a special menu.
We had to kill that animal before we brought it in. Yeah.
It was funny because it was that day. I remember it was like we were gonna go there, or there's a Chinese buffet across the road.
Yeah.
And it's like $23 for 3 people. It's like so cheap, it's good.
Yeah.
So,
well, do you remember the old country buffets?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Back in the day, yeah.
And in fact, that it's funny you say that, because that Chinese buffet is where Old Country Buffet used to
be. Yeah, I think when the Old Country Buffet line died is when really Golden Corral took off more. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember me and my buddy went to Old Country once. And it wasn't that far from where I was living at. And he was like, we both kind of looked at each other. He looked at me. He's like, you have 1 bathroom in your house. This other friend of ours has 2. They're not home and I have the key. So we went to their house so we could both we got to unload this.
Blow it up. Blow it up.
Leave him a couple bucks on a kitchen table. Hey, sorry, dude.
What's that smell? I think we had a gas leak while we were gone. So if there was one restaurant chain you could bring back that's not around anymore, do you have one you would think you bring back?
Bennigan's, just for the Monte Cristo. Yeah, the Monte Cristo at Bennigan's was always the shit.
Bennigan's was a spot for a bit, yeah.
Old school Pizza Huts.
Oh, the old school ones. Okay.
With the lunch buffet and stuff.
Yeah, the full south. Yeah, all that stuff there. Yeah, I do remember those. Yeah.
Now, I'm sure the food maybe wasn't that good, but as a kid, the nostalgia factors. I don't know. But yeah, they had the salad buffet and
Well, speaking of old school, do you remember when Wendy's used to have the buffet? They used to have a laid out buffet back then. Like the baked potato and all kind of and they realized they were losing too much money off of it because you could load up like crazy on that thing. It's like kids now that one of my friends telling their kid, they're like, "Oh, Wendy's used to be yellow." Like, no, it's red. Like, no, it used to be yellow. That's when they had the whole sunroom and the buffet and
I've had a baked potato from Wendy's in the past year.
It's not the same though now, right? Like as it was back then. It's still
the first one I had in like
it's still okay potato.
I forgot it was a thing.
Yeah. Well, if you want a baked potato nowadays, McAllister's is the place to get if you got a McAllister's near you. They give you some huge baked potatoes. I never thought baked potato could be a meal in itself. They proved me wrong. Like, are you growing these for Paul Bunyan or something? Yeah. But I think if I could bring back a restaurant, it might actually be Chi-Chi's.
All right.
Chi-Chi's.
Wow. Back in the day. Yeah. There's a whole 2 or 3 generations that only know it for salsa. They didn't even know it was a restaurant.
Yeah.
Back in the day. We used to have some fun in the market. They used to load you up with the margaritas there and the burrito, that fried ice cream dessert. They had the lockdown on fried ice cream.
Now, I don't know if this is local to me, but there used to be a chain called Perkins. I don't know.
Yes, we've had Perkins.
Okay. So
yeah.
It's real. Okay.
And there's still some around. There's still some of the Perkins still around.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
Perkins.
was
What was the other one? It was along the lines of a Perkins. Shoney's.
Yeah, Shoney.
Yeah.
I think.
Whoa,
Shoney's
whoa!
It's all right.
It's a fumble.
No beer was hurting that fall.
All
Which is good because it landed on top of my computer. But
yeah,
Shoney's was another one, and Shoney's was the same line as Frisch's Big Boy, which apparently here, I don't know if it's everywhere, but here, like, they're closing all the Frisch's. Apparently they're in bankruptcy or something. So, which would be kind of weird with having a world with no Big Boy nowadays. Like,
I'm trying to think of any others. I can't really think of any.
Yeah. Well, I thought some might have been out there, but I had like one of my friends tell me earlier they went to Benihana over like the holiday. And I didn't even think Benihana's was still even open, but yeah, there's still some of those around as well. So can't say they're fully closed. He said it wasn't as great as it used to be, though.
What the hell was that restaurant we went to years ago? Bahama Breeze. We went there once.
Yeah, they still got those. Yeah. I
remember we went there. We got like the coconut shrimp or whatever. It was pretty good. We went to go back. It was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still in Jersey. We went to Jersey last time my mom had her thing. We went to get lunch there one day. Yeah. They're very like scattered around now, not like they used to be. I feel like a lot of places. They made me think of that Bennigan's though. You made me think of that. Yeah, Bennigan's.
Bennigan's used to have good beer back in like the 90s. Like they were ahead of the curve with, I remember this had to be like 96. So they had like a beer passport where they had all these different beers and they were all like good, like OG craft. So yeah, they were ahead of the game. And yeah, I mentioned that Monte Cristo sandwich at Bennigan's was it. I had to get that every time I went.
What's your go-to beer at the chain restaurants? Like, let's say you go to Applebee's or Fridays. Like, what's the go-to?
Sam Adams, Boston Lager. You know what you're getting.
Yeah, that's pretty much. God, I haven't been to Applebee's in so long. But I think last time I was actually there, I got a PBR just because it was like, you know what? I haven't had PBR years, and it was like, you get the tall, and it was like $1.25 or something like that. I'm like, give me a PBR type thing. But usually, like
generally for me, it's like Guinness. I feel like Guinness is
Guinness. Yeah. Like if I go to Ruby Tuesday, usually Sam Adams is what I'll get there too.
Yeah. I'm so salty against Sam Adams. Ever since they started switching all the recipes, I'm like, come on.
Yeah, it's not the same. I like the old formula myself.
Yeah,
but, I can taste that little bit of a difference, but I don't hate the new one. I just prefer the old one.
Yeah.
For me, a lot of places it's like the chain restaurants. I'm like, it's either the Guinness or like, what do you have from Sierra Nevada? Because that's generally pretty solid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a place like that, you could probably always get like Lagunitas IPA at most of like your chain restaurants.
Yeah.
What's your airport beer of choice?
Oh, well, that's different then because it depends what airport you're in. But I go to like a lot of the ones that have like the little breweries and stuff.
Yeah.
Like if I'm like when I was in Baltimore, like Flying Dog had something at the airport, or here in Cincinnati, they'll have like one of the ones here will have some craft type stuff. But usually it just depends where you're at. I try to find a craft beer one if I can.
Yeah.
I feel like Mike had it interesting. So Mike went to Mexico for a vacation recently. So his airport experience is way different. Like he was telling me he was watching Top Gun Maverick on a bus in Mexico. I'm like, what? Like on a bus.
Wait, where was he watching on a bus? There was like a screen behind the seat or something?
It was just like a bus like around town. And it's just like Top Gun Maverick's on it.
At least he wasn't watching Speed. Yeah.
I'm like, how long was he on this bus? They were running a full feature film, which depending on what resort you choose, when you go to Mexico, you can be on a bus for a while if you don't get a private car. Yeah. Yeah, we went there one year. My wife's like, never again. She's like, we're getting a car next time. We come here, we're going to either get a private car or we're going to rent a car. But she did not like riding with other people on the bus. But luckily, our resort was like the second stop anyway, so it wasn't too bad.
Hey, you're bigger cities in Mexico. I mean, you got
I'm almost
Ubers.
out of beer.
Yeah. You get the Ubers stuff at the bigger cities.
Yeah. Like we did that in Mexico City. We went down there and then we went to go see like the pyramids, which is like a good hour away. And the Uber was like equivalent of $18. Fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
And, my wife, because my wife speaks Spanish, my wife was like, how easy is it to get an Uber on the way back? And the guy just looked at her as like, whatever your bill is for this, just pay me in cash and I'll wait for you. We're like, what? He's like, yeah, he'll sit there. He waited for us for like an hour and a half. And then we just paid him, whatever we paid to go in there, we just paid him in cash coming back and he took us back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like a little shady, but then again, if it works, it works.
Yeah. I'm like, all right. Because he was saying, because you're going so far out, you're going to have to wait a long time to get an Uber. Back. So he's like, I'll just wait for you. Just pay me under the table and, in cash. We're like, okay, no, it's not a problem.
I got to get one of those new licenses to fly.
To fly? I just use my passport. Yeah, we just moved back here, and they're like, "Oh, you need this and it." Like in Baltimore, they automatically did it with our license. Mm-hmm. Come back to Ohio, it's like, "Oh, you get the regular state one, or you can get the one where you can fly and all that kind of stuff, and it'll be this much." Or like, we're going to move again here when we get a house, probably. So just give me the regular one, and they're like, "Well, when you come back, and you want the other one, the real ID. You need this. Like, what the fuck do you need all that ID for?" I mean, I know you're trying to make sure nobody's bashing on the plane. I get all that kind of stuff. And I just use my passport. I got a passport. I just use that. It makes it a lot easier.
Hey, guys, it's like 9:00 here. I'm going to have to take off and do some shit. So,
okay.
Happy New Year, guys. Dad, it was nice meeting you. And I'll send you something online so we can get together, get you up on the Beer Media group.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, guys. Take care. We'll see you next week.
See you.
All right. Take care.
Cheers, Dave.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Get that out of the system.
Oh, Jenny.
Yeah, I'm actually drinking a Taft's Hoppy Camper right now. So this is 7.2. This is also an IPA.
See, whenever I pour Jenny, I always pour 2.
You always pour 2 Jennies when you pour? Well, it's a lighter beer. It's a Jenny Light.
Yeah.
So
can't go wrong.
You need 2 lights. 2 lights make a 1.
2 light beers make a whole beer. Yes.
That's how the beer mass. Oh man. So what's going on with your channel? What kind of stuff are you and Mike into now?
Well, the holidays have brought on a bit of a lull as far as the amount of content.
Mm-hmm.
So besides Christmas week, we've been doing an episode every Monday and Friday versus Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Just because we've been hard to get together and do stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll get back after the upcoming weeks to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But we've been really trying to focus on nostalgia beers. So like when I said me and Mike did like Steel Reserve and stuff, like we're thinking, I was like, what about all these beers we used to drink all the time and we haven't had in years? And then like we're trying to think of what are the first craft beers you had? Like let's get back, let's do some of these. So that's kind of what we want to do on our channel for the time being.
That's pretty cool. Tell a little story with it and everything, Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I don't know. For me personally, I don't care if the views suffer for it and stuff on our channel because I'm doing something I want to do and Mike wants to do, so that's all that matters. But ironically, our views are going up because a lot of these beers are the same beers that people they did the same thing with.
Sure.
So, I mean, last week we did Christmas themed beers, but all pretty much beers everyone gets. Saranac, 2 times Xmas, Bell's Winter Ale, their Scotch Ale there, the Christmas beer. New Belgium, their Holiday Ale. That was a fun video. I had a fun time.
The Holiday Ale, yeah. I just saw the New Belgium when they do. I didn't get it this year's edition, although it's still here if I want to get the Four Roses. What is it? The
the Brooklyn Four Roses?
No. New Belgium. They do it every four. It's like a limited edition they do every year now.
Do they?
Yeah. Shit. Let me get my Untapped.
Huh.
Trying to think of which one it is, but they use Four Roses for the barreling now. They've done it the last few years with them. They had done some other people before.
Dude, I hate New Belgium so much.
Like there's no Voodoo Ranger. Yeah,
the Voodoo Ranger.
There's some easy drinking Voodoo Ranger though.
I just like it's all the natural flavors. I can't do it.
The juicy's not bad. I've never had the Holiday Ale. The orange triple.
It's a very unique winter warmer. It's a very juicy winter warmer.
I haven't had the 1554 in years.
I had a lot of fun editing the review as well. I made it very comical.
Yeah. What is this beer? Why can I not see it on here? Let me go to my beers I've drank.
I've never heard of that. I know about the Brooklyn Four Roses Stout, the Black Ops.
It is there. So I'm scrolling through. Oakspire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the Oakspire in the last few years have been done with the Four Roses. They kind of stuck with it.
I think I can picture the label now that you say it.
Yeah.
It's like a maroon label with like tan, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, they had done one years back for the old fashioned, and that was actually using somebody else. And then after that, they teamed up with Four Roses, and apparently it took. So they just kind of stuck with them on it.
Interesting.
But outside of that, like I'll grab the Ranger stuff here and there. Like, it's just like I just want a beer to drink. Here's a stove pipe, and it's $2.99 or whatever. Juicy Ranger, blah blah blah.
I know, man. The past few I've had has just been medicinal, metallic notes to it. I don't know what there is to it. I see. That's the thing is like the quality control on those. It's null and void.
Yeah,
because they're
depending when you get it. Do you take the dates I know and stuff when you get it and everything too? So they're pretty fresh when you're getting it, or
well, yeah, for the most part. But
yeah,
I'm trying to think of the average person reaching for a beer. Right. And I'm trying to put myself in them shoes. Like, so when I'm like, kind of tastes like this or whatever, I can only imagine the poor soul that strolls up in their local fucking Mobile and they're like, oh, I want a beer. I'm going to check this out. And they grab that can of Juice Force that's been sitting there for 9 months. You know what I mean? Like, they're not looking at dates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to say that to be like, snooty, but the average person is not looking at a date like that.
Nose in the air, Dan. Nose in the air. Yeah. No, they're not, and that ruins their experience if it comes out to be that type of situation, right? So, yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting.
And then that's on New Belgium for not getting out there and make sure their stuff's being turned properly too.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm a distributor stocking the shelves, I'm definitely rotating out my old product.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's old, rotate out, put it in a dollar cart or whatever if you want, but give people a fair shot at it.
Yeah, very true. You playing? You still playing in games or what? You got the second channel going still?
Yeah, I got the gaming channel. Well, that's the third channel, but the gaming channel is still I do it here and there. Still playing like Warzone. We just started playing Marvel Rivals, which is actually really fun. I don't know if you've seen that or not, but that's like a six versus six. If you're a Marvel fan, you like give the Marvel characters and
actually I had this kid at work because I told him, I said, hey man, he's just getting into computers and stuff. I said, you know, I've got parts sitting in the closet. You know, if you ever, you know, this is what I got. So, anyways, I had a 3070 just chilling.
Oh wow!
And,
okay.
And he was rocking a 1080, and he started playing Marvel Rivals with his buddies, and texted me. He's like, "Hey, you still got that 3070?" I said, "Yep." You know, so I sold that to him or whatever, and he had to upgrade his power supply and everything. It's sort of older PC, but it's, I noticed a big difference and stuff. But yeah, so that's how I know about Marvel Rivals, because he's like, I need it, man. So I sold him
over here.
I sold him my 3070, just chilling. So
yeah. What about you? What do you get into?
Honestly, I'm playing a hodgepodge of games right now. I just finished some older games. I've been playing through all the Wolfensteins.
Oh, okay.
Playing through that. Kind of biding my time till February because I'm waiting for Avowed and a couple other games coming out. More of a single player guy right now.
Okay. Well,
I don't play a lot of.
They're bringing out they're redoing and bringing out the new Max Payne's 1 and 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
So. I have been playing the Modern Warfare or Black Ops single player.
Yeah.
So
you've been doing the campaign and everything then?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I haven't done a campaign on there. I'm always like jumping into the multiplayer stuff. But I heard the campaign was good. I just never got into it.
See, when I play multiplayer, I tend to like go back to like old. Like I just played Battlefield 4 today. I was playing Battlefield 4. I love Battlefield 4.
I got that. I haven't played that. I got Battlefield 2042. But I got 4. I got 4 as well on the PS4.
Yeah. Well, because I do like the Game Pass and the Game Pass Ultimate. So I got it on my PC and Xbox or whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't hopped into it. I want to. The new Indiana Jones.
I haven't. Yeah, I've seen the stuff for that one as well. Yeah. But I feel like it's not gonna be like kind of like Drake's Fortune. I mean, obviously Indiana Jones, but I feel like it's gonna be like a Drake's Fortune type. And I never finished the Drake's Fortune. I never finished it.
Well, Indiana Jones, it was made by Machine Games, and they made all the Wolfenstein. So I'm kind of I'm kind of down with it.
No, well,
I've been on vacation. I've been on vacation for a while, so I've been catching up on movies and shows and some old games. So my last day of work was December 19th.
Okay. Wow.
And I go back on the 7th. So
that's a nice little break for sure.
Yeah, man. So I've been trying to catch up on some things.
Yeah, it was Alien Romulus I was trying to figure out earlier that I watched last night.
Dude, yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that.
I'm an Alien fan, so I was like, I got to check it out because I like watching Alien movies. It took some prodding along to go with it. It wasn't terrible or anything, but again, it was just not having Ridley Scott kind of do it. But then when they brought back the character from the first one, that kind of piqued my interest. Of you've seen the first Alien, once you see him, you'll be like, oh shit, like okay. And then it's kind of like going into it, and he kind of rehashes the story about what happened on the first thing and with the original characters and stuff. So it was interesting. So
I'll have to check that out. My next movie was going to be Trap, but maybe I'll watch that instead.
I haven't heard of Trap.
Trap, it's a M. Night Shyamalan movie. It's got Josh Hartnett in it. And this guy's like supposedly like a killer, and they're at a concert with his daughter.
It came out like last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they enclosed and they're looking for the suspect, and it's like a thriller kind of thing. Trap. Josh Hartnett.
Okay.
I just watched I just finally watched Iron Claw. That's been on my list to watch.
Oh,
about the Von Erich family and wrestling.
Okay, I was thinking Iron Fist for Marvel.
With Zac Efron and Jeremy Allen.
I do want to watch that one. Yeah,
pretty good. Yeah. Not too bad. But like I said, I've got these like random movies that I've been like, wait for time to watch them. So
yeah. Did you watch Knock at the Cabin from M. Night Shyamalan?
No, yeah.
That was pretty good. I thought. I'm surprised by Batista. I was going to say Batista. The way I'm surprised on the roles he's pulling off. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Dude, Batista said he had to bulk up to 315 for that role.
Yeah. Wow. He's lost a lot of weight now too since he's not wrestling and everything.
Actually, it just looks like he's lost a lot of weight. He's still 240. You know what I mean? Like that's insane. I just watched Dune Part 2 last night.
I can never get into the Dune stuff.
Yeah, Batista's in that too.
Is he? Okay. I just never, as the original Dune was out, I never got into it really. Then when it came back out with the remakes, I'm like, I don't know. It never grabbed me. Like there was 2 sci-fi movies that always were like, why do people watch this? It was like Dune and Enemy Mine.
Okay, all right.
But that's just me.
So I thought you were gonna say Blade Runner right there.
See, I like Blade Runner. I didn't see the one with Gosling, but the first one I really enjoyed. I just never got around to seeing the one with Gosling. So
yeah,
and, it's just I don't know. It's just maybe I got to give it a chance on the new Dune. I feel like the first one just didn't satisfy, so I never watched the new one. But I know a lot of people that like the new one as well.
Yeah. So. It's I don't know. It's some of it. I think it doesn't capture the original so much. Like Blade Runner, when that came out, I was watching. What the hell was that show on Netflix? Oh, it was like that. It was a very cyberpunky movie. It's where. Oh wow. Where you could transfer your soul, like your body, like your mind on a chip. It was a detective movie, like detective.
Was it live action or was it like animated?
No, it was live action.
Okay.
Altered Carbon.
I never got around to watching that, but I always heard good things about that. Okay.
So it's very Blade Runner-esque.
Okay.
Like it's got the whole cyberpunk, like it's yeah. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
I feel like I would get into that. I just never saw Altered Carbon either.
Well, see that's the thing. Like I don't know about you, but I'm very selective now with shows. It's like don't waste my time.
Well, it's like times at a premium. So I'm like, I'm going to get into something that's kind of like I want to make sure it's pretty solid.
Do you know how many times I tried watching The Boys? I could never get into it, and then finally this year I got sick and I watched it again. And I got into it and I watched all the episodes.
Yeah. It took me a while to get into The Boys because my wife was out. She watched like the first 2 seasons. She watched it. I'm like, I've seen it. And I finally watched it. And then I watched that. And then I watched the Academy spinoff as well that they did. So,
at Thanksgiving, I was talking to my wife's sister and her husband or whatever. And we were talking about The Boys. And they're like, yeah, we couldn't get into it after like, after he raped the girl in the first season there is like, made her give him a blowjob.
Deep, yeah.
Or like, and I said, but we want to give it another shot. I said, okay, I'm going to tell you right now. If you had a problem with that, you're going to have a big problem later on.
Yeah, you're going to see some other stuff out there. Yeah.
Just put that out there.
Oh, poor Starfire. She did all right, though, later on.
Yeah. Dude, even the scene, like, later on, like, when he's driving, he's trying to save the dolphin. The dolphin flies out of the van and fucking gets smashed.
Yeah.
He's having the affair with the octopus.
Yeah. It's got some weird things happening for sure.
Right. Like the superhero orgy.
Yeah.
Superhero orgy.
When they go to the club and everything, yeah.
The dude that can shrink and he's in there tickling the I'm like, oh my god, what's happening right now? I don't even know.
Yeah. You gotta have to have some leeway if you watch The Boys.
Yeah.
Or Gen V, which is the follow up to that. So, which I think that new season coming up. I will probably watch the last season of Stranger Things when that comes out, just because that's like number 10 on the sub card now. It's the free. I'm at the free. I got to finish it out.
I'm 2 seasons behind on that, I think.
Yeah. I was out of it for a bit. I got into it like some point last year, and I was like season like number 3 or for the last season. there was so many flashbacks for me from the 80s. I was like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I quit Netflix for a while. I came back.
Yeah.
I quit him for like 2 years.
Wow.
I only came back because Monday Night Raw is going to be on Netflix now.
Is it going to be totally on Raw or just in that special episodes?
Just Raw.
I thought it was going to be on Raw, but I didn't know if it was going to be
Raw and then like some other stuff they're putting on there.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, if you want to watch some Monday Night Raw, it's Netflix.
I remember when Raw was back in the 90s and it was live.
Yeah.
And there was no delays.
Oh, yeah.
There were certain scenes that would happen. It was like, oh, they didn't catch that. So Netflix, they don't have to worry about that maybe. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. It's quite the time because there's AEW. They're on Max now.
Yeah.
Like first of the year, everything happened.
Well, I know Netflix had the big test of Christmas Day doing NFL games. And apparently it was a lot better than the fight when they did it with Paul and Tyson match. That was
so my workaround for the fight was I was a half hour behind everyone. So we just shut it off for half an hour. We started up where I left off. So there was a half an hour buffer zone from the live. So it wasn't live and constantly trying to buffer.
So were you were having buffer issues when you were trying to watch? See, I didn't have any buffer issues.
Oh yeah.
Where I was.
Oh yeah, and like I knew it wasn't me. I knew it wasn't me.
Oh, there was a ton of people that had issues. Yeah.
Because I was watching it on an Apple TV, which is the Apple TV. That box for a set top for apps is overkill.
Mm-hmm.
I never have any issues, and I'm talking like I can have Netflix going on every TV in this house with people on their phone. Like I never have internet issues.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, this is that.
Yeah.
All for a rigged fight. Come on now.
Yeah. Yeah, the Paul Tyson was not really as worth it as much, but the two fights before Paul Tyson were fire. They were like, those are some pretty good matches.
I know, man. Dude, I'm not trying to be that.
Tyson got screwed.
I don't want to be that guy. I really don't want to be that guy. But something was up with that fight.
With the Tyson Paul?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was stuff like they got like stuff like that I've seen, and you never know how much it gets edited and things now on social media and AI and kind of stuff. But just like there was a shot where Tyson hit Paul, and Paul like came in and hugged him, like was in his ear, kind of like, "Oh, you want to get paid or what?" Like he almost knocked Paul out. Yeah,
dude, you saw Tyson training for that, moving like ferociously fast.
Yeah,
and like that first round and like a little bit in the second round, it's like, oh, Tyson's coming in. And then after that, it was like, you're right. The hug happened.
Yeah.
And like after that, he's just sitting there gnawing his glove. Like,
gloves. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. So, and I just went like, I don't know, like people were actually making legitimate bets on that. I don't know how they did it with the whole Vegas type thing and all that kind of stuff. If they called it off.
If it's a Jake Paul fight, don't ever bet on it.
Yeah. But like I said, the first two fights, I think both of the people that lost got robbed in their fights, but they were some pretty good fights. That one chick definitely got robbed, in my opinion. I mean, she was a beast.
Oh yeah, dude. The crowd was furious too.
Yeah. Like the crowd was booing and everything like that. And so you never know with some of the international fights. Sometimes you see these refs like if the crowd will storm the match sometimes. So like I was worried about that person in there, like
yeah,
people going crazy and stuff.
As soon as they announced that, I was like, yeah, that ain't right. She got her ass kicked.
Yeah. And they just showing the scorecard, and the one guy that was at the ringside announced whatever like that, and it was like it was dumbfounding. Like I don't know.
And it was great afterwards because they interviewed the manager or whatever. He's like, yeah, we can't wait for a rematch because this ain't holding up.
But I'm like, she fought her twice already. She lost both times, and both times it was like the whole headbutting type thing. But it's kind of like you almost like you knew what was going to happen going in there. So I don't know. I mean, maybe they will fight a third time. It's good for ratings probably, but apparently she's been doing it to a lot of other fighters. They were saying so she has a history of it. But I'm like, you signed on for it. Like I don't know, but yeah. So I'm kind of watching some stuff on Netflix. We got Prime. I watch some stuff on Prime, and then I watch some stuff here. Like on I don't have Mac. It's funny that we moved. And my Max isn't on here, but my Max is still on my phone.
Okay.
Funny thing, we moved, And then tell me if this ever happened to you. I got an email from Xfinity, and they're like, "Oh, we got a credit for you." Because I paid everything was paid. I paid my last bill the day we moved, turned in the equipment or whatever, and they sent me back like $120 something. I've never had a utility. I never had a company in cable or any utility like, "Oh, wait a minute, we got to refund you this back." Usually they would keep anything, I would think.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like, they're like, "We'll send it to the account we have on file." And I'm like, okay, cool. When it showed up, like 120, like, okay, that's legit, I guess. Like,
I mean, take it and run, bro. Take it and run. Seriously.
I'm always worried about them saying, "Oh, you didn't turn in something." Like, yeah, I did. I got the receipt for it.
Yeah.
It didn't end up
I think
that's true too, Emerson. Yeah, Tyson did almost die like 8 weeks earlier. Had to have the blood transfusions and the training was free. He lost 25, had to recover. There was a lot of because that was one of the things going into if they should still do the fight or not. But there was a point where that hug did happen, and if you were reading the lip type thing, it was kind of like Jake Paul was like, "You want to get paid or what?" Like, like
right.
And then after that, Tyson started doing the bite in the glove type thing and kind of pulling his shots. Like there was a point where he was going to throw a jab and he didn't. And he pulled. You can see him where he pulled back on it, like which Paul was wide open to take it. So yeah.
So I think for the ultimate payday, I don't know if they're building up to this. They had to have thought about it. But when are we having Paul versus Paul?
Brother versus brother.
That was funny because after the fight, when they asked Tyson, "Oh, would you fight Logan?" and Logan's like, "I'll kill you, bro." Like,
yeah.
But there were talks that would happen in WWE because Logan signed to WWE. It'd be the Paul brothers versus like Tyson and somebody because Tyson's a Hall of Fame. He's in the Hall of Fame in WWE.
Is he for what? Like he only did like a few things.
That's all it takes.
I guess,
I mean, Drew Carey's in the Hall of Fame for
what? What did Drew Carey do? He didn't wrestle.
I don't know. He's part of some thing.
He donated some money and they said, "Okay, we'll put you in the WWE Hall of Fame." Yeah.
Vince will put anyone in.
Yeah, he will. Well, Vince can't do anything now. Vince had to step down with all his stuff. Like,
I watched that documentary on Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't look good for him.
I bet Vince was out on Epstein Island at some point or another.
Probably.
I just feel like
Vince has always been in all that.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't watched WWE in a long, long time, but
I'm still a kid at heart. I was watching.
Yeah. It still can be entertaining, I know. And it was like you and my buddy Dan that does Western Canadian reviewer. He's in the watching. Dan, right? Up in Canada, over on the western part of Canada. Western Canadian reviewer. He does reviews and stuff, but he's big into the wrestling. So
yeah.
He actually set up a popular because he does a WWE game. And he set up a popular thing on Discord now where he has like their own private matches they run and stuff, and they get people come in with their own characters. And I was like, good for him because he's wanted to do it for a while, getting stuff running, and now he's got a Twitch following. So it's always about finding your lane, right, where you want to be.
Yeah, I watch a channel. It's called Reckless Eating, and they're old school food show, but they do like live streams. They do that, like people create a character and. You bet on them and makes a whole stream. Pretty cool.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think it's really unique when you can do that, like to interact with your community, like do this and
I got to get back actually this weekend and start dropping some more reactions on the reaction channel. So. I had a few people on this channel. I watched that one too, but get back to my love of music and share some stuff there. The only problem I've run into that is like we talked about earlier. Sometimes I do the copyright type stuff, but I love hearing what the kids are listening to nowadays.
It's something.
That the Eagle Rare you poured?
No, I poured so Russell's single barrel store pick.
Oh, okay.
It's actually from Camp Nelson, which is pretty big. So it's a 9-year. It was dumped on 4/29/24. It was distilled in December 4th, 2014. So floor 4 of Camp Nelson.
All right.
And it is 110 proof. So
Okay. 55 ABV.
really nice baking chocolate, spices. Really enjoy Russell's.
Bacon chocolate.
The store picks are really nice too.
Well,
Single barrel.
like a nice little whiskey. Whiskey.
Mhm.
Wow.
I tend to enjoy these more. Now that I've had my beer journey, so to speak, with like the barrel aged beers and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of see the similarities.
Kind of broke you into it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like even with the bourbon counties, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, okay, I can see that like when they have the special ones like that Bardstown Rye, Bardstown Rye and stuff like that. Like I'm like, okay, I can see the barrel character and yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I feel like me and Mike, what was it? Over the summer we reviewed a local beer and we had picked up a small thing of their whiskey too to go along with it to see if we can see the barrel, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, being back in the area now is kind of like I want to do more checking out of whiskey stuff. Because when I was here before, we were on the Kentucky side and never really took advantage of all the bourbon whiskeys and distilleries that we actually had there. So now it's like coming back, it's like I need to go ahead and take the second chance to actually experience some of these stuff. So I might start going to some of the distilleries at some point. But I used to take like, and I saw that I was at one of the BJ's brew house where you take a shot of whiskey and you put it into the glass. I mean, basically it's a Boilermaker. You take a shot of whiskey and put it in, and then you pour the stout in on top, and it blends into it to kind of do your own type of bourbon infused beer. And I did it with different whiskeys, and that can actually add a nice little realm to it as well. So yeah. So if you ever got like some whiskey there, like you were looking at, whatever it is, you might have a Guinness stout, be like, you know what, I'm gonna put this in and see what it does to it.
It's like a reverse Irish car bomb, sort of.
Yeah, instead of dropping a shot in, you're just putting it in there and then blending it up as you pour the beer in on top of it. So I was like, yeah, the guy was doing it at the bar there, and I was talking to him about it. He's like, yeah, you put the shot in and it's like you just pour it in and put it on top, and people like to order it that way sometimes. And I forgot what the drink was he had there, what it was called or anything like that, but I was like, I'm gonna try that when I get home at some point. Yeah, it does work. If you want to give it a little kick.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
But but you do it like if you do it with like the same beer, like you get a 6-pack and you like take 3 of them and do it with 3 different whiskeys, you'll pick out the 3 different sensations as you're actually try them. Like this whiskey will impart something on it, this whiskey will impart something on it, this whiskey will impart something on it. So if you get a whiskey that's more maybe smokier or more caramel coming through.
What are you putting? Like an ounce? Like
just like a shot, like an ounce and a half or whatever. Yeah.
I feel like that'd be real. Like, listen, don't hate me if I do a video on this because I feel like this would be.
No, I think it would. No, that's fine. We all share, brothers. Not it's all good. So,
like, like pick up a 4-pack of just like Narwhal.
Yeah, and if
just
fuse it with different ones, do a series on it. Today we're doing 4 Roses and Narwhal. Today we're doing Bardstown and Narwhal. Today we're doing this and Narwhal, and seeing what we get out of it as a different type thing. Yeah. It's a great way to bring some other things together with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see your wheels turning, man. Yeah, I mean, if you got the whiskey and you got the beer, why not? So it's always about bringing different stuff and sharing it with the viewers and having ideas.
I can just see it now. Eagle Rare Narwhal.
There you go. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the whiskey journey is like, I love beer and that journey is okay, but the whiskey journey, it's a rough one because it's like it gets super expensive, like insanely.
Oh, it definitely does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you noticed the difference between whiskey tubers and beer tubers?
Not as much outside of, I feel like, I was going to say, I know there's been a few whiskey tubers that may have disagreed with other whiskey tubers, but I feel like I see more beer tubers being more catty than whiskey tubers. Like whiskey tubers are more laid back and chill that I've come across and I've talked to and met and I follow and stuff. And a lot of beer tubers are, but then it's like you get cattiness, you get picking apart. I've seen on some of the beer tubers, but I've never seen that on a whiskey tube.
Right.
Type thing. Like, like somebody picks them apart. Like with the whiskey guys, it's kind of like, they're more distinguished and like kind of thing. Like, I see what you're saying, but this is like how blah, blah, blah. Versus some of the beer tuber guys are like, no, that shit tastes nothing like that. Like that. It's just like, people get what they get out of it, right? And so
yeah.
I would say the differences that I see there.
It definitely is a night and day.
But I'm just going to be me, and I just I team up with some of the whiskey stuff, like some of the whiskey guys, talking with them, and I love to do some more stuff with some of the barbecue guys. Like I had a couple of the barbecue guys I've talked to in the past, and I had one of them here on the channel, Jimmy from his channel, and we just talked about like different barbecue, and like, you take that barbecue and you put it with this beer. You take that barbecue because he drank beer and stuff too. It's like then we talked barbecue and beer pairs. I would love to get more of the food stuff kind of going. The problem is we talked about it earlier, like watching stuff. It's the time. It's the time of putting stuff like I see people that do YouTube and they're always like saying they want this or that and complain like other people that like you're trying to compete against people that's all they do is YouTube. You're not going to win that battle. Like they got a crew working for them and stuff. Like you got to do what you can actually do. So that was one of the hardest things, like learning around YouTube. Like, don't try to go around chasing. You're not going to be as big unless you're putting whatever effort into it and stuff. But if you find your lane,
waterfalls. Come on now.
Yeah. There you go. Shout out to Left Eye. But you've got to, you find your spot. Like I'm in a comfortable spot when I do here. I enjoy doing the stuff here, and I was like, I want to do that. I was like, stay in your lane because that's more and more. And, luckily, knock on wood, everybody seems to enjoy the stuff I put up here, which is great. So,
yeah, definitely. What?
Cheers, Elbow. Great to see you, my friend. Happy New Year.
Elbow.
Hope all has been well.
Hey, man.
You're doing good down there in Florida, my friend. Definitely Happy New Year. Still kicking it. I'm still kicking it. You're still
heard
kicking
Elbow
it.
on the piano for quite a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I got to do a 10-year show for March upcoming. And it's like, I've been on YouTube for 10 years now. And I'm going to probably do a combo with JB, Jonathan from overseas, because he just finished 10 years on his, the Northern Southerner on his beer channel. So it's just like time has flown.
That's a long time.
It is. In YouTube, that's like dog years. Like in YouTube, it's like fucking 80 years old right now. I'm the old man. You got a 10-year-old channel, you're the old man, or you're in the nursing home at this point. Yeah. But it's funny just thinking back, like the ones I've seen, I may mention this like when I do the special, just like some of the channels that were here when I started that aren't here now, or just the different people that when I came on who I kind of watched. I got to figure out how I'm going to put a 10-year show together. But
I mean, that's got to be like, it's going to be wild. You basically know everyone. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny because Matt from Massive. So we went up to Niagara Falls, like I said, for the beer tuber thing. We went to one of the brews of their Brimstone, and Ray, who was from the Alkanauts, knows he does stuff there with them, like sound stuff and everything. So he knows we met the brewer down there, and we were talking, and the brewer actually knew Matt from Massive because Matt had come up there before. So I was like, yeah, me and Matt go back for like a number of years. We've talked, and I know that's so we were talking about that and everything like that, and just like connect. You're just like, wow, the world's like smaller at some points. You don't even realize, like, you know, so we were having a pretty good convo just because it was almost like he knew Matt, I knew Matt. We connected at a different level than if I had just been like some guy coming through the brewery type thing, you know? So I mean, for me, the brewing community has been welcoming in a lot of ways, and the opportunities, and that's made the fun, the community of it. I'll be back volunteering at the Beer Fest next month. And it's kind of like last time I went to the Beer Fest before we moved, like over 3 years ago, we went there, me and Todd and his wife Shannon. We just went to go. And people that were there volunteering, they're like, hey. And they're yelling over, you trained me like years ago. It's like people remember like how to pour the beers and what to talk about on beers and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the fun of the beer community. That's why I'm always energized and love being around it and talking to people and having the fun experience. I know you get the same thing where you're out there too. It's just, you know, it's great. It's just like welcoming and a good time. It's like
I love going to beer festivals and just like interacting. Like, you know, you start to see like people from the breweries, and you know they start to recognize you, and you get talking, you form relationships, and like I'm like drinking a beer the last beer festival, I get tapped on the shoulder like, Dan, FLX Beer Reviews. I'm like, hey, what's up? You know, it's like, you know, it's like, but yeah, it's cool, man. Yeah, community is everything.
It is, and you know the beer community has been just so welcoming. A lot of stuff. It's just I get surprised when people like I meet from some of the breweries and they're like, oh yeah, you got the thing on YouTube, right? Like I watch your thing sometime. Like really, like I get some when it's people like actually, you know, we tell the stories and we share the beers, all that kind of stuff. But when there's actually people that are in there grinding for that 16 hours, whatever it is that day, and they're telling you they're watching it. I mean, it just feels good that, you know, you're able to win them over on stuff, so to speak.
Well, I feel like that's also part of it, right? To extend that story a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we've had some beers before, and I've had like the brewer send me an email, and I'm like, listen, the beer you got, no bueno. Like, I need you to try one fresh. You know what I mean? Like, so like that happened to us. We went to a beer festival, and the guy's like, saw the review, loved the review. That lot code on it, because it was like one of those funky lot codes. He's like, that beer totally. It was a habanero beer.
Okay.
He's like, definitely not fresh. He's like, I want you to try one super fresh. Next time I get one fresh, I'll let you guys know, because like the pepper is going to be a lot more prevalent. You know what I mean? Like that's his baby. He's like, I want this thing. The pepper. It's the whole point of the beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It wasn't that beer. It's just like I'm like, where's the habanero? You know?
Because that faded by then and stuff. Yeah. Well, it's funny because like over your shoulder there is like Hop Butcher, and years ago when I gotten some stuff from Jeremiah and everything like that and everything. But we went out there in Chicago. I was out there 2 years ago and met up with Dave and a few other people out there. We went to Hop Butcher, and I told Jeremiah to swing by, finally get a chance to check out their stuff. And he wasn't there with her like that and everything, but it's kind of like we got there and then like we came in and like, oh, you're Rod, right? Like, and they were like really accommodated and taking care of it. And then like, so Mal was having a beer tube get together a couple of years ago out there. I said, well, if you're going to take them to Hop Butcher, reach out to Jeremiah and let them know. And they reach out, they come to Hop Butcher, and they got a little placemats for all their YouTube channels. I mean, they were just like took care of them, and it's just like that's the fun of the whole community type thing when people just extend that.
Listen, Hop Butcher, they are awesome. They're awesome people. Yeah. They really are. Like not even Jeremiah. Like they know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Jeff, aka No Jinx.
Yeah,
he's at the Holmes Brewery Festival. Hop Butcher's there pouring. They see our hat. The one owner's there, not Jeremiah. He points at Jeff across the crowd. He's like, FLX Beer Reviews, love those guys. Like in Michigan. My mind's blown. And that's the other owner. So like they know. Like that's cool. They appreciate us. We appreciate them, and they're good people.
Yeah. There's a lot of good people in the beer world I found. So not all good. I mean, there's some shadiness and there's some other ones. Don't get me wrong. It's not a perfect 100%, but that's how it is. But you know, it's overall some good things that are still being done, and there's still some room for improvement, but there's things being worked on for that too. So,
do you ever get like that? You ever feel guilty about like you get someone hooked on like some craft beer? you feel guilty. You're like, poor soul. They're gonna go down that
road. Welcome back, Vanessa. You know what the funny thing is? So it's like, I don't know if it's something where, you know, you're probably like me, you go to a beer store, you're looking at beers, you're checking them out. You got that beer's eye, right? So you're looking at it, you're checking dates, you're kind of going through stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of looking, and I have people to come up and they'll be like, hey, can I ask you a question? And he's like, and I'm like, yeah. And I got a person that didn't want to sort of like, I got to go to this party. I'm supposed to bring some IP. Like, what would you like suggest? Like, whatever. Like, they don't know me. I don't know what it's like. You know what? Yeah. And it's like, I did it in Baltimore. And I was like, they like IPA. They like juicy, or they like regular. They're like, yeah. They're like, other half right here. I showed him. He's like, thank you very much. He grabs it, just goes and like pays at the counter. I couldn't even anybody telling him anything, but he was like, yeah, I'm done. Yeah. There's just too much out here. But I feel like there's something that you start to shine off when you're actually involved, that people just know to, let me check with this person because he looks like he knows what he's doing or she knows what she's doing. Yeah. Let me see, you know, because sometimes us not being the employee of the store is a little bit better because they know we're not going to probably bullshit them like if we were an employee there, right? Yeah. Like, yeah. So yeah. And it's funny when some of the employees come over too, and they're like, oh, anything you need help with? Like, nope, just checking the dates. I don't want any old beer. And they're like, oh, okay, you know what you're doing. They walk away. But yeah.
Yeah, did that happen in Wegmans? This sweet old lady, she was looking at some stuff. I'm looking at some stuff. I'm like looking at the bottom of the cans, right? She looks at me, she's like, excuse me, do you work here? I said, nope. She's like, oh, okay. I was like, but I'll help you. What's up? You know, like, you know, she had said, well, I really like chocolate. And I had this one chocolate beer and I kind of liked it. I'm kind of looking for something similar. And I kind of ran through the gambit with her and sent her on her way with some stuff.
There you go, honey. Have a great day. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. It's fun. And, you know, it's all about spreading the knowledge when I can. And that's what the whole thing behind my channel always was to basically try to share beer in a fun, educational way, but, you know, not be that stiff type thing, not be that dick type attitude or whatever like that or anything. Just community type thing, have fun and enjoy. And that's what I always try to share. But Tuesday night, I mentioned earlier, I'm going to have Joel Geyer on, who did Flights Across America. He wrote the book Flights Across America. Okay. So he's going to be talking about his beer flight experiences and the different beers he's had and stuff that he sees. So that'll be 8:15 Eastern on Tuesday. Okay. So if you're around, you can check that out. But that's going to be a pretty good conversation I'll have with him and looking forward to it. He was on Dave's thing, I know, a while back, but one of my other buddies up in Wisconsin, he had done his show, Daddy Porter, and he's like, you need to reach out to Rod J. I'll get to his thing. I'm like, well, appreciate the shout out. And he's making a little circuit going around. I'm like, yeah, definitely. Awesome. Let's set it up. So
yeah, seems like a really fun time.
Yeah, it's usually pretty fun and just chill, drink some beers, talk about the different stuff. And I'm interested to find out all the breweries he kind of went to, which ones stood out the most, which ones maybe didn't stand out as good. And they pretty much just travel the country. Him and his wife. His wife's a traveling nurse, I think. So they get the kids, they get in a van, and they just travel all over the country and they set up shop. And I said, that's a pretty good life. The nomad lifestyle. If I was going to be a nomad, that's the lifestyle I would want. Just
right. I'd like to know the percentage of like regionally of the breweries that are just like they're just mid. You know what I mean? Like, what's the percentage of breweries that you go in and you're just like, no, you ain't doing something right. And you just like,
you're gonna turn around and walk out. Like, yeah. Well, it's funny. We went to Niagara. We went up there, and all my Canadian friends are like, "Do not go to this brewery." They're all telling, "Don't go to this brewery." Like, okay, this very solid. Don't go to this one because it's right there in Niagara Falls. Hint Niagara's in their name. And so we end up going down to see the falls, all that kind of stuff. And everybody's like, I want to get a beer or whatever like that and everything. So we end up coming back and like 3 or 4 of the people are at that brewery out there. And I'm like, we were told not to go to that brewery or whatever. Like I was with one of my buddies. You know Chris off the 10th. So I was with him. Yeah. I was with him and a couple of guys, and they're like, he's like, I do not want to go to that brewery. Like, well, what about this place over here? Like, it was like Niagara Distillery or whatever. Like, maybe we go there. Maybe they have something different. We'll grab some sandwiches and everything. We go over there and we order off the menu. I'd be damned. They walk across the pavement to the brewery. We didn't know they were owned by the same brewery. So they walk across the pavement to the brewery and bring our beers back from the brewery. We were trying to avoid.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, geez.
And so we get the beers, and it's me, it's Chris, it's Brian the Beer Snob, and it's Dave from Dave's TV. And Brian, I forgot which one he ordered, and he like took a sip and he put it down. I'm like, what do you think of it? He's like, and he's from Georgia, so he got that southern accent. He's like, tastes like charcoal brigade. And I'd be damned if he didn't put that in his review when he did. And then luckily I got the double IPA, which wasn't as bad, but yeah. And then I think Chris and them got like kind of a shandy type mix that he said was probably one of the more decent options. But yeah, when he said that, I about lost it.
So is that place like? Is that like dead center of tourist area? Like, is that like
they get all the tourists coming off the falls?
So see, right there is what I was trying to say earlier. The people that walk in stores don't know nothing. These tourists walk in like, oh, this is craft beer,
and the place was packed. Was packed.
Yeah, it's craft beer.
So then it was like Alan was there from Alan was one flight down. He was there with us. So he was at the other table that was with Todd and Shannon and a few other people, Shane. And so he basically left and went up the hill a little bit and made it right to the beer garden and was drinking another beer to get the other beer taste out of his mouth.
Jesus Christ.
And you're like, how does this place stay open? Well, they got the tourist lockdown. So they get people that come in there and just, don't know any better. They just drink it and like, oh, I guess that's how it's supposed to taste. Like, no, it's not. It's not. But, you don't know.
Yeah.
But some great breweries at other places that we went to up there. In fact, one of the breweries we went to was Oast House, and that one of the beer that we had there was their beer. I want to say Beer de Mars or whatever, but that was like one of my top beers for the year, and it was like just this fantastic like champagne like saison type beer. It was freaking awesome. So, yeah,
nice.
It's a nice area. So yeah.
I haven't been up there in years.
Yeah. Joe came in that Sunday, so he was there, and we shot a video, and everybody brought in beers, and you just put them in the fridge, and you just grab beers you want to do review stuff on. And we grabbed one, and it was also on my list I just had here, but it was a double IPA, and me and Joe were into doing a review. And if you haven't seen it, the video like on the channel, we went to do it. We took that first sip and we looked at each other and we were just like, oh my fucking, give me one more second. Like we both went back in again. Like,
yeah.
This is like just too fantastic. They blew both of our minds. So it's, sometimes you do a beer review and you both might, but it was just like both of us together were just like, yeah, this was like maybe the draw of the fridge to pull. Like this is the best one right here. Like this is solid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and it was until the Mal brought that 10-year Bourbon County in. It's really smooth. And poor Todd was the only one that didn't get a taste of it. He was trying to get it. It was all going. I think he got like maybe a little drop out of the bottle or something.
Oh, jeez. That's funny.
Yeah. But we had some pretty good beers and stuff up there. So, but that's the fun. It was more about us getting together than anything. But that even made the beer that much even better to be able to share and enjoy and stuff. So
that's how it's been with like with the Beer Tuber Paloozas that I've been to. I haven't been to the last couple of years, just hasn't worked out or whatever, which is unfortunate. But
well, the problem with the one they just had this year, I actually forgot about it, and I felt bad because that was actually in Philly.
Yep.
Which me living in Baltimore was like under 2 hours. I could have easily been to that, and I got so busy with work and stuff, I didn't get a chance to go up to it and just got away from it. But this next year or this year now, we're doing it in South Carolina and North Carolina.
Yeah, I heard that.
So if you want,
Nutmeg had messaged me.
Yeah, so if you're looking at when to come down with this, because that's going to be some great breweries we'll be seeing down there.
Yeah.
And stuff too. So that'll be awesome.
Now, would you fly into that, or?
I would probably just drive down. I'm like 6 hours, I think, for me to get down
Okay.
where he's at. It's kind of on that border type thing. Now, if my wife decides to go, she'll probably want to fly because we drove like 7 to Niagara, and it was kind of not terrible, but she was just like, she liked to be in the car as long for that.
Yeah.
Like put me on a plane type thing. So we may fly down, but if she doesn't go, I'd probably want to drive personally. And then go down there for a few days because he was worried about, like, he's trying to get all the breweries and stuff on the go. When I said, well, I'll probably come in a couple days earlier if I can. So if we don't go to Sierra Nevada, we don't go to New Belgium, we end up going to some, I'll probably come in early and go to those anyway. So don't even worry about it. Like, don't put the pressure on you.
Oh, I would love to go Sierra Nevada.
Yeah. And then
like, say what you will, but to me, Sierra Nevada is like my forever brewery. Like they really are.
They never really disappoint, do they? It's just like anything you get is just always like solid and dependable.
Yeah,
and just to pick up the old torpedo, even it's just like
it's always solid, classic beer.
Yeah,
like it's very rare that you drink a Sierra Nevada and you're like, nah, it's not good.
Yeah, they're pretty good at kind of knowing their lane and kind of focusing in and staying in and not getting a little too crazy.
Dude, it sucks. They deliver to like basically every state but New York.
Well, you know what's funny? I just found out moving back here, I can get Sierra Nevada in Ohio. I didn't realize that before. So like I get like these emails from my app and stuff about it, and they got that s'mores marshmallow narwhal that's out.
Yep, and you get all the good Bigfoots and
I'm like, do I want to get that?
I get so mad.
Again, I want to get an order, but I'm like, again, I said I would tell myself, don't keep buying beer till you finish some of the other ones.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but this doesn't come out all the time. It doesn't come out all the time. So I'm like,
right.
So
even like classic stuff, like Kyle had got one because Billy sent it to him, but Sierra Nevada just porter, porter in a can.
Yeah.
Like to most people, that sounds boring. To me, I'm like, I'm excited.
Yeah. See, we got Jungle Gyms here, and they get a lot of that Sierra Nevada stuff, man. So I usually see like the porter and the different ones they got in there.
Yeah.
But Jungle Gyms that's like an all-day experience to go there almost. Like Todd and Shannon, they've been coming out. They came up like back in September because now they started their channel. So they came to get some beers, and they were there for 3 months. Like Shannon's was like, I'm done. I'm out. I'm done. Like I can't. Tom the beer whisperer came out from Missouri because they came through the area last year.
Yeah.
So he was going through, and they went to Jungle Gyms, and he literally was like, I'm leaving. I can't. And his wife was like, don't you want to see this beer? You like this kind of beer usually. He's like, no, I'm done. I'm like, Jungle Gyms can wear you down. It's like with all the pressure and all the beers and stuff they got there, you'll easily drop some dollars on stuff. So but it's great. So I haven't been over there yet because I know when I go over there, being back, I'm going to be probably getting more stuff I need to get because it's always like, oh, I didn't know they came out with this. Oh, I didn't know this was available now. Oh, limited release. I got to get that, So, and then if you like glassware, they got always great glassware. They have glassware like this, and it'll be like $2 a glass or something like that. I'm like, I can always use a snifter. I can use like a tulip or something like that and everything. And it's like, you go to the brewery sometimes and it's like $5 or $6. Like, how is it cheaper at Jungle Gyms than the actual brewery? That's just crazy. So
I gotta get like a cabinet for all my glassware.
I didn't even unpack all my glassware. So we moved here. I'm like, why unpack it? I have to pack it up again when we move like in 6 months. So I'm like, just leave it packed. And then I start accumulating other glassware. Now I'll have to find new boxes to put this stuff in when we move. So I just like go to Kroger and get basic glassware. That's why I try to use that way. If something happens to it, I won't care.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Gotta get the box of Spiegel.
Right. I do have a nice Spiegel glass as well, but
I gotta get up to nice little trip. It's not too far from us, the Corning Museum of Glass, and they have all sorts of all sorts of cool stuff. So that's a fun little trip.
Yeah, I got them Holland Walker glasses. I got that set I bought last year really slick in the design. I mean, like out of a chem lab and stuff, but I got them boxed up right now. But I'm like, those are actually some pretty cool glasses to actually pick up.
Yeah.
So I'm all about glassware. Glassware is probably collect more than anything. So like I know some people do the beer cans or the beer bottles, and I was doing beer caps for a bit, but more glassware.
Yeah. I feel like everyone's had the idea of I'll collect all these caps and one day I'll do something with them, and it doesn't happen.
Well, she bought me like an R one year for like Christmas or my birthday, whatever. You put the beer caps in, then
I got some taster glasses full of like on the shelf full of bottle caps.
Yeah,
and my wife is gonna make coasters from them, like epoxy. So we'll see.
Yeah, I've seen some nice epoxy like coffee tables that people have done with them, where you put them in the glass and all kind of stuff. That's been pretty cool, but. Yeah, sometimes being a beer tuber, you develop some hoarder type habits in different ways, and it's just like, what do I do with all this stuff that I got here? You know,
dude, I'm at the point where if I buy a new glass, I'm sneaking it in the house. I'm just like, she'll never know. She'll never know.
Yeah,
put it on the shelf.
It's funny when we moved. I went to one of the. We had a local auction house in Cincinnati when we moved to Baltimore, and I had to get rid of a mirror that I bought. It was like this big old. It was like I went on the auction thing, right? It was a Corona mirror. Okay. I said, okay, that looked good in the background. I'm not a huge Corona fan, but I like the artwork on it.
Yeah.
I go to pick it up in our Mustang convertible at the time. It's like Mustang GT 2004. I'm thinking I'm getting like this little mirror type thing. This thing is like a display that you would have in a restaurant. I mean, this thing is huge. I can't even put the top up in the convertibles. So I got the convertible top down. I'm reaching back, holding the mirror as I'm driving down the road to make sure it doesn't fly out of the car. I get it home, end up putting it up on the wall. But then when we moved, it's just like, I got nowhere. I'm not taking this with me. I got nowhere to. It only cost me like $8 or whatever for it.
Yeah.
Which was a crazy thing. And one of the moving guys, I'm like, you drink beer? He's like, yeah. He's like, you want a mirror for your anything at the house or for like your beer cave or man cave or whatever. He's like, yeah, I'll take it or whatever like that. And everything. I ended up giving it to him because I just had to get rid of it. It was just like you get him getting so much stuff in there. I tried to give Todd my beer fridge before because I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was just so frustrated. And he's like, well, I can't get up there and pick it up. Well, I'll keep it. And now I'm actually glad I kept it because I put stuff back in it again. But if you would have picked it up, I'd have been like, shoo. So yeah, it's just like you get to a point where it's just like, how do I become a minimalist and get rid of what I don't
there's
need
too
anymore.
much. Too much.
Yeah. But now, like, because I'm here and I don't put anything up, I feel naked because nothing's on the wall behind me. And it's like,
yeah.
Like I don't want to go down that road because I got to take it back down here pretty soon. So it took me forever to do it in Baltimore because I was afraid of that, and we ended up being there for 3 years. And it's like, I could have put stuff up earlier, but
yeah.
Then I finally did it, and it's like, oh, we're moving. Really? I just put all this stuff up.
Damn.
So yeah, but that's the life that we live. You know, it's not easy. It's not an easy walk for many, but we walk it. Yeah, but cool. I think I'm going to get wrapped up here, and appreciate you being on and coming in. And for those of you watching, if you haven't checked out Dan and Mike, FLX Beer Reviews, make sure to check them out. And then Dave, that was here earlier for Beer in Front, but. No, it's great to see you, my friend. And
yeah, definitely.
We haven't spoken in a while, so
it's a rare thing because I'm usually working. I work nights, so I've been on vacation. So I was like, oh yeah.
But that was the surprise when you messaged me because I know you usually work nights like Joe usually does too, and it's like, oh, okay, well if you're there,
you know what though? Even if I was working, I was so scared. I was like, I want people to be able to interact. I was like, Rod doesn't know his chat's messed up.
I wouldn't have known if you didn't say anything. There, I was just like there, like I said, because when you said it, then Dave had a comment come in. I'm like, that's interesting. So then I went on and somehow I hit another button. But YouTube keeps adding stuff and moving stuff around, and if you don't pay attention, you'll screw something up.
Yep.
But no. But thanks, my friend, and happy New Year to you. And definitely have to get you back up here again on some stuff here and do some chatting and I don't know. I don't think I've ever did the feature with you and Mike on the show for the spotlight. So that might be something.
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah. So that could be something to look at too. So
maybe we can do a mix of a stout and a whiskey.
That would be fun. Yeah, that would be good. Maybe we do a joint thing with the stout and the whiskey.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm all for it. So thanks to everybody that tuned in. Going to go ahead and sign off. And Happy New Year to you all once again. And I look forward to talking to you. Don't forget, next Tuesday night, back live again. And, of course, next Thursday for the next happy hour live stream. That being said, we are out. Have a great weekend. Cheers, everybody. Wow.